One of the great baseball cities in America, maybe the best, St. Louis, Missouri, with the Arch in downtown St. Louis. And baseball is a phenomenon here with the Cardinals and their fans. Expected to sell out crowd tonight as the Rockies play Game 2 against the St. Louis Cardinals from Busch Stadium. It is a gorgeous night here in St. Louis, just like it was last night for Game 2. A wild Game 1 for the Rockies and the Cardinals. Jerry Schimmel with George Frazier as the Rockies try to avenge a loss last night in Game 1. A wild one where they lost the ninth inning. Charlie Blackmon again will lead off for the Rockies tonight. Jose Reyes will hit second after that. So Charlie, that leadoff man, having a terrific season. No matter where he's hit first almost all year long. Here's the lineup for the Rockies tonight with Blackmon leading off, Reyes hitting second, Cargo's third, Arenado is the cleanup man, then DJ LeMahieu, that RBI man, hitting in the fifth hole, the all-star second baseman. Then Paulson manning first base, Nick Hundley behind the plate again. Brandon Barnes will start in left because Corey Dickerson a little roughed up last night, and Kyle Kendrick is on the mound.
Now you get the right-hander on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals, who has thrown the ball very well, 11-4. Started out 7-0 on the road this year, one of the few times that's happened in Cardinal history. An earned run average of 3.27. The last three, not so pretty. 1-1, 688 earned run average. And you look at the strikeouts, it's all change-up fastball, occasional cutter from him in a ball game. He doesn't give up a lot of home runs. You see that about every 11 innings. And that's what the Rockies will have to deal with. Very good command of both sides of the plate. Reminds me so much, without the curveball, of watching Adam Wainwright throw. Just same kind of body, 6'6", about 230 pounds, and a warrior.
And a lot of folks mistake the two for each other a lot of times. Defensively for the Cardinals, it's a team that had 3 errors last night. 2 of them by the pitcher, but here's with the glove, the St. Louis Cardinals tonight in Game 2. The outfield has the rookie Piscotty in left, Grichuk in center, the veteran Hayward in right, Matt Carpenter at third, Johnny Peralta at short, Colton Wong at second. Brandon Martz getting the start at first base tonight, and the veteran Yadier Molina is behind the plate for Michael Wacha. They are filing in here to Busch Stadium, but they are expected a sellout tonight, as they are tomorrow night and Sunday afternoon. Almost got there last night.
Yeah, just 43,000 attended the ball game last night.
And Charlie Blackmon looks at strike one to begin the ball game.
94-mile-an-hour fastball placed to the outside corner.
Blackman's had a lot of success against Wacha, 4 for 7 in his career. That one's off the plate.
Now, Wacha struggled against the Colorado Rockies in his career. His overall numbers against Colorado: 0-1, 635 earned run average. He's had 2 career starts. And Charlie hits a line drive deep to left field. Piscotty will get it.
1 down in the Rockies' first inning. Charlie Blackmon is retired. Michael Wacha, 6'6", 210 pounds, just like George said. Adam Wainwright, he is a Texan, played at Texas A&M. First-round draft pick a couple of years ago by the Cardinals. Born in Iowa City, Iowa, but raised in Texas. Here's Reyes, and strike one to him.
Yeah, he gets the outside corner where those pitches have gone. You're going to see him collect a lot of fly ball outs to left field. The velocity's there, tough to pull it. Reyes fought off that fastball in.
Reyes a switch hitter, hitting left-handed against this big righty. And the umpire, Ed Hickox, behind the plate tonight in this game, too. And that one slap foul off the bat.
Come on.
Reyes.
Well, he hit it. I mean, Stout's got a dive or something. He turned his back on it. You got a lot of friends right now, Mark. You got a lot of friends.
Ended up with a baseball. Broken bat. Little looper is grabbed by Colton Wong. Wong is only 5'8", but got up to get that one. 2 outs in this top of the first.
Well, all about timing where you're playing defensively, and then you can see he's about 2 steps in on the dirt. He's able to angle back, collect his feet, make the sky catch, and get the out.
2 outs and nobody on for Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo with 2 more hits in last night's Game 1. He scored a run, walked as well on the road trip. The Rockies had 3 games in Chicago. 7 for 16. Swinging a red-hot bat. Take strike one.
I would think Wacha would go to the changeup. Last night Martinez got him the first time up with the changeup. Second time he grounded out. He flared the fastball for a hit.
Next pitch is hit well to right center field. Hayward going back. He's on the run. This one off the top of the wall. Cargo will cruise into second base. That is a stand-up 2-out double for Gonzalez. And his swing continues to be beautiful for the Rockies. Another extra base hit.
You continue to try to pound him in. They do it early in counts. Surprised they came back in on an 0-2 count to try to jam him with a fastball. He just sat on it and made him pay.
Nearly had another home run.
Yeah, he nearly did. I thought the ball was going to carry out of the ballpark. It had that kind of backspin on it. Now you can see that back leg drive, the hands working well for Cargo, and the results are back to where you're used to seeing out of Carlos Gonzalez.
So man in scoring position now for the Rockies and Nolan Arenado. And that's outside ball one. Nolan 1 for 5, had an RBI double in the first inning last night to get the Rockies on the board. They had 3 different leads in that game last night. Next pitch is hit down the right field line. That's slicing toward the corner, and a foul ball. Just a little too much slice off the end of the bat from Nolan Arenado. Otherwise, the Rockies have the lead again tonight.
And Arenado's the one guy that has hurt Walker 2 for 3 in his career with a long ball.
No one's been good in this situation this year. 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Has Cargo at second. 1-1 count. Walker delivers, and a ground ball hit backhanded by Carpenter. A long throw, dug out at first base by Moss. That's an out. Good play by Carpenter. Good scoop at the other end by Brandon Moss. Rockies done in the top of the first inning. Matt Carpenter made an error in last night's ball game, but makes up for it here perhaps by saving a run with that great play. Back to St. Louis after this. Last night with the bat will lead off for St. Louis, and here's the rest of the lineup. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Pretty much the same way they went last night. Piscotty hitting second, Colton Wong these days now hitting third with Matt Holliday out. Johnny Peralta is a cleanup man, and Hayward, Molina, Moss, Grichuk is the center fielder, and Michael Wacha behind the plate.
Take a look at Kyle Kendrick's numbers this year. The one loss is not what you'd want at 4-11 overall, 633 earned run average. Success against the Cardinals in 12 games, 10 starts. He's gone 6-3 with a mid-3 earned run average. Hope that success continues here tonight.
Carpenter, like he normally does, takes the first pitch. This one's outside for ball one. First 4-hit night of the season for Matt Carpenter, and a couple of home runs against the Rockies. His last 4-hit game was last year on June 4th. That's a strike. Cardinals have been known for drafting guys late in the draft and developing them and having them become productive players. This guy is one. He's a 13th round draft pick out of Texas Christian. Kendrick fires. That's low and in.
Now, last night he got after a couple of pitches against Chris Russ and almost a hanging slider in the middle of the plate. He took out of the ballpark to right to dead center field. Came up later in the ball game and drove this to right field out of the ballpark. And in the 9th inning, he led it off with a double against Boone Logan, the left-hander.
2-1 is swung on and missed. He took something off that one. Kyle Kendrick did. Got the swing and a miss. 2-2.
Now, the Rockies have been 5th in the league, I believe, or 4th in shifts this year, and they have overshifted with 2 strikes now. Arenado will play shortstop.
Rockies shifted against Carpenter all of his at bats last night. Wind up for Kyle Kendrick, and the pitch fouled right back to the screen. Matt Carpenter, son of a high school baseball coach in the Houston, Texas area. Very, very successful high school coach. A couple of different schools in that area. And you can tell. I think sometimes when you watch Matt Carpenter play that he is the son of a baseball man. Started as a second baseman, playing third base these days. Another 2-2 by Kendrick. That one hit well to center. Charlie Blackmon's going to look at this one, leave the yard.
Kendrick. The Rockies' record is 39.
He put one last night in about that same spot, halfway up that grassy area at straightaway center field. You forget about the power he has, but he's got great pop in his bat.
A lot of pop in the bat. Let's look at the pitch with the 2-strike count on him. He tried to throw the sinker down and away and get the ball out away from him off of the barrel of the bat, and he set right on it, same spot as he did last night in the ball game, but about 15 feet farther.
Said after the game, the media, he loves hitting leadoff, and leadoff was effective last night. Same way tonight.
81 runs given up, or 82 runs given up by Kyle Kendrick. 19 of those have come in the first inning.
Just like that, the Cardinals jump on the Rockies. Nobody out in this first inning. Stephen Piscotty is the hitter. He let that one shallow center field. Going out DJ LeMahieu. He's going to call for it. Let Reyes have it. He'll make the grab. Let's look at the Rockies with the leather tonight in game 2. Other than in left field, same way as last night. It'll be Brandon Barnes in left tonight. Charlie Blackmon in center. Cargo in right. Arenado, Reyes, LeMahieu, Paulson around the infield left to right. Hundley again beyond the plate for Kyle Kendrick. Here's Colton Wong, hitting third these days. Left-handed hitter out of Hawaii, University of Hawaii as well. Line this to right for a base hit.
With the injury to Matt Holliday, you look at his RBI totals, his home run totals. He does add a little speed to the 3-hole. 11 home runs, 43 RBIs, which is third in their lineup tonight. 2 of the top RBI guys, leadoff man Matt Carpenter, 3-hole hitter Colton Wong.
Cardinals come in 5th in the National League in runs scored. They have relied on pitching for the most part this year. The pitching has been outstanding. But the clutch hitting's been pretty good as well. And this guy's been a clutch hitter, including last night, Johnny Peralta at the plate. Kendrick back into a stretch. Strike one. Peralta had a single last night in the 5th inning, stopped an 0 for 19 string, but he's still hitting 286. And good power numbers like he always has.
302 versus right-handers, 240 versus left-handers.
Later on in the game, he had the 2-run single. That was in the bottom of the 9th inning. His pitch is swung on and missed. Curveball thrown by Kendrick at 78. Johnny Peralta from the Dominican. He has played for 3 different teams now. Played for the Indians for several years, the Tigers, and now the Cardinals. 0-2 the count. Kendrick with a pitch. just missed inside. Kyle Kendrick has had a rough month of July. Opponent batting average .386 for this month. We'll be glad when today is over and work into August.
But a lot of that is the protection around you in the lineup. And when you have Holiday in the lineup, you go front or back of Peralta and you get that extra protection that you normally would not have. That's why they went out and got Brandon Moss to come and hit left-handed in the lineup versus right-handers. Mark Reynolds will continue to face left-handers.
Pitch to Peralta is in the dirt, and Hundley's able to smother that one. Count gets to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals come in with the best record in baseball, 65-37. Best home record as well, 38-15. One of just 5 teams in Major League Baseball to have a winning record at home and on the road under Mike Matheny. Amazing, all their injuries, trading some pitching away in the offseason, still having an outstanding year. Next pitch to Peralta, swing and held on by the catcher. Nope, foul ball at the plate. Hundley couldn't quite grab it.
Yeah, I didn't see much contact on the slider that he went right on the inside part of the plate. A pitch you see Josh Falk throw an awful lot. Have a little bit of a late cut or sink on the baseball, and he's able to get just enough of it. Toughest thing in baseball, foul tips for catchers to hang on to, particularly if they're caught anything at all on the baseball.
So to first, Wong is back standing up, and the Rockies will keep their eye on this guy. He can run.
11 stolen bases. He's been caught 4 times.
Jason Hayward leads the team in stolen bases. That's 15.
Excuse me. Wong's been caught 6 times. Nick Hundley on the season has thrown out 19 of 34.
Two and 2 on Johnny Peralta. And just caught a piece of that one. Foul ball at the plate. Threw another off-speed pitch. One thing that doesn't bear well for the Rockies, the Cardinals 40-12 this year when scoring first. And they have a 1-0 lead bottom of the first.
Well, they got so many starters that carry you into the ball game with wins as you get through that. 47, I think, which leads all of baseball. And you start to look at that, and then you look at a bullpen that has the 2nd best earned run average.
Pitch is hit into right center field. That's going to be trouble. Blackman cuts it off. Wong heading to third. He will hold there, and holding at first is Peralta. Third base hit in the inning for the Cardinals. First and third.
Now look at this pitch from Kyle Kendrick. As he delivered it to home plate to Peralta, it fought off 5 or 6 pitches. This is a good sinker running to the inner part of the plate. He inside out swing, drives it into right center. Wong on the move as he takes off with this pitch. You can see that the ball's down. Once it's down, he utilized that good speed Jerry talked about, jogged into third base.
And now meeting that Steve Foster, the Rockies pitching coach, out the first inning to talk to his pitcher. Nick Hundley in the conversation as well. Home run by Carpenter, a pop out by Piscotty, back-to-back singles, Wong and Peralta against Kyle Kendrick. Last time out for Kyle, he got the win. That was on Sunday. That was that 17-7 game the Rockies had against the Reds.
He was able to go out and give you 5 innings, 7 hits in the game, but 6 runs. All earned, and he walked 3.
And now here's Jason Hayward, the veteran outfielder, coming up with first and third and 1 down. Pitch to Hayward. That's a called strike 1. Hayward had a couple of hits in last night's game. Having a good year. 283 with the 9 homers, 34 RBIs. He's sitting down in the order these days, hitting 5th tonight again. Pitch, he is popped up, foul ground down the right field side. That's going to reach the seats. It's out of play.
I don't know if he's lived up to all the expectations of what the Cardinals had wanted, but he's been very close with the 16 stolen bases. 15 stolen bases. He's been caught twice. He's driven in 34. Jerry mentioned the runs, the home runs. And I think a little bit of the shock of being sent on a trade after being the guy, and one of many, but one of the young guys, young guns in Atlanta.
Hometown guy as well. A lot of hype when he was drafted and came up. 0-2 the count. Kendrick working ahead of this hitter, and that one's hit to left center field. That one, though, is playable. Circling around is Barnes. He cuts in front of Blackman, makes a catch, but the run will score. Wong with that great speed, having no problem getting home, and it's 2-0 St. Louis.
And 35 RBIs. You see Barnes and Charlie talking a little bit. And what's the difficult part when a ball's hit like that, the crowd noise here is very loud. This is a bowl, and the ball, and when it gets down in there, you don't really hear much. And Barnes able to cut in front of the baseball. You can hear him saying, watch, I got it, I got it. And Charlie able to just back out of the way of it, and Barnes makes the throw back into second.
Now Yadier Molina, the catcher, the longtime veteran, with 2 outs, man at first. And he'll hit that one up the middle and grabbed nicely by Reyes. The throw is off the line, though, to second base.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be a rule the base hit. A difficult play up the middle for Reyes to even get to the baseball. Had to take the strong angle to it. And then the off-balance throw trying to flip it back to DJ LeMahieu. Ball elevated up into the strike zone, and I think hitting the mound kicked the ball towards Reyes. Then to throw well off the mark to DJ LeMahieu. And he got to that baseball, stretched out, and then see, instead of flipping backwards, he just tried to rotate the body, and a difficult play to make.
It is ruled an infield single for Molina, so Brandon Moss will come up with first and second and 2 outs.
Not a lot of history between he and Kyle Kendrick. Just one time, Moss successful with a base hit.
He's picked up in a trade and joined the team yesterday. Brandon Moss did, from the Indians. 15. Didn't have the big batting average, but 15 homers and 50 RBIs with the Indians.
Struggled against right-handed pitching this year. Most pull hitters will. They'll roll over on that sinker. He had 190 against right-handed pitching, 263 against left-handed pitching.
An all-star a year ago was Brandon Moss.
Former teammate of Corey Sullivan doing radio for over there with Jack tonight.
Played with Boston, with Pittsburgh, Oakland, the Indians, and now the Cardinals. That's upstairs, and the count is 2-1. Corey Sullivan on the radio last night with me saying this guy is a great teammate. He said this is a great acquisition for the Cardinals. Great clubhouse guy. He said he's a St. Louis Cardinal through and through with his personality. They fit in beautifully here. Kendrick trying to get him out to get that third out. 2-0 Cardinals. Swing and a miss. Would take a big rip and an off-speed pitch and came up empty. Speaking of Corey Sullivan, in that booth there he is on the right. Jack Corrigan, my radio partner, on the left.
There, see, now you're waving. That's the way you have to do that.
Yeah, they see us.
Corey has a monitor. Wave to your daughter. You did. Okay, you're done. We're back to baseball.
2-2 pitch to Moss. That one's hit well to center. Blackman is going to run this one down. And the Rockies dodge a bullet on that swing by Brandon Moss, and the Cardinals will settle for their 2 runs. After one, 2-0 St. Louis. Jack and George. All right. Oh, well, I know what you meant. DJ LeMahieu is the hitter for the Rockies, and the count on that. Thank you, Jenny. I know. Yeah, Jerry's here. All right, Jenny. 1-1 pitch is lined to left field for a base hit for DJ LeMahieu, and his hot hitting continues both in general and against the Cardinals.
Against the St. Louis Cardinals, he's killing it. Well, at the in-between innings, Kendrick went over and was there and being looked at by Scotty Garrett, part of the medical team. Picked his stuff up and headed downstairs. There it looks like Aaron Laffey has been warming up out into the bullpen for the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah, looking at one of the fingers on his throwing hand there. He did that a couple of times in that first inning. And there's Aaron Laffey, the left-hander. A long man these days for the Rockies. He's been a starter a bunch in his career, both in the minors and the majors. He's getting his work in, and looks like he'll come in for the Rockies. Here's Ben Paulson at the plate. Swing and a miss by Paulson. In that game in Denver where the Rockies beat Michael Wacha, Paulson started, went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Done a nice solid job for the Rockies, both with the bat and at first base defensively. That pitch is outside. Michael Wacha from the stretch. Swing and a miss as Paulson chased a pitch in the dirt, and that's out number 1.
Changeup showed up in a hurry.
Well, who wants tacos? If the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 and get your Rockies taco special. Liv Moss at Taco Bell. One away, Nick Hundley to the plate for the Rockies. Another good ball game last night with the bat. He hit a home run. He was 2 for 5. And Nick checks in at 304 with 8 homers now and 34 RBIs. That's just a great season for the Rockies catcher. And all that great work behind the plate as well. George mentioned all the runners he's thrown out this year. Hits this one to right. That's pretty well struck. Hayward going back to the wall, leaps, and he makes the catch.
He saved a home run. The 6'5" lefty did a good job of getting back to the wall. That ball looked like it was over the bullpen fence. And a home run for Nick Hundley, robbed by Jason Hayward in right field. An underrated outfielder by a lot of people. Very strong arm, very athletic guy that can get back on the flight of the baseball, and he did it here to Nick Hundley and the Rockies. As he goes back, he feels I'm on the dirt. I can feel I'm getting close. And it appeared that ball had a chance of getting out of the ballpark, or at least to the top of the fence.
What a great catch. Yeah, always known as having that great arm, but maybe not all that great a defender. That's a great catch.
Yeah, very good job of getting back, knowing your ballpark, knowing where you are. You talk to a lot of the outfielders, and I used to ask those questions as a player. You're tracking a baseball, so you can feel the surface change, and you usually got 2.5 steps where you're going to bite the wall.
Brandon Barnes at the plate here. Interestingly, who the Rockies have on deck. They have Chris Russin, who hit a home run last night.
Well,
here's showed bunt, pulled it back.
But here's part of the problem. You got a 4-man bench. You can't start unloading pinch hitters early in a ball game. And you know, Chris swung the bat well last night. Had a couple of bunt base hit and the big home run that he hit late in the ball game. And for Walt Weiss, he's got basically a short bench. So this is the right move to make. Is let Chris go up. Of course, you know, you go into protection mode or panic mode sometimes when your starter walks out after the first half inning of a game, and you're thinking, all right, I got a piece of my bullpen through the game. You hope Laffey can give you a good 4, maybe 5 innings in this game, maybe 6 if everything goes right, and that batting order falls that way. And try to piece your bullpen, but yet save your bench when the opportunity presents itself.
Now 2-1. And the bench short because of an injury last night on this play. Corey Dickerson bruised ribs, knocked the wind out of himself on that play. He said it took everything I had to run that baseball down, and he did. And Hayward actually was thrown out at third. Dickerson better today, but still very sore. He is available as a pinch hitter, we are told. 3-1 on Barnes. Runner at first, DJ LeMahieu, 2 outs. Barnes just 1 for his last 11 at the plate. There's a strike called. 1 for 5 on this road trip. LeMahieu, good lead at first. Walker delivers, and it's hit down the right side. That'll reach the seats, out of play.
Yeah, good job fighting off a difficult pitch on the outside corner knees. And down, try to get something you can drive somewhere, and it's not going to be easy to do against somebody like Walker.
0 for 3 in his career against Walker is Barnes, and a couple of strikeouts. Walker resets and looks in for the sign from Yadier Molina. Full count, so LeMahieu will be taken off from first base. He's going to let him go with Moss not holding him on. First baseman, DJ will get an extra lead. There he goes. Pitch to Barnes is fouled away. Rockies come into the ball game 19 and 30 on the road. They have lost 17 of the last 22 away from Coors Field. 9 of the last 11 overall they have lost. And Walt Weiss losing his starting pitcher tonight after 1 inning. He's shaking his head going, what more can go wrong this year? Tapper toward the mound. That's grabbed by Walker. A good athlete, throws to first base to get Barnes. Side is retired. Rockies get a leadoff single from Mayhew and can't do anything with it. Away to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Cardinals. Is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. As I mentioned, that is going to be it tonight for Kyle Kendrick. Last 1 inning for the Rockies. We'll look at Stan Musial's statue outside Busch Stadium. And they'll give way to Aaron Laffey, a lefty, a long-time National League and American League pitcher. Almost as many games in each league he has thrown in his career. In the meantime, let's go back to the studio in Denver. Jenny and Spilly.
Well, there's been enough of them. I think it's the most activity we've seen in an awful long time, Jenny, and I think Spilly would agree that the trade deadline, big names that were being moved. That was the impressive part of it. There was an awful lot. Cargo got it.
Wow.
You want to question whether Cargo's legs are healthy?
Yep.
There's one of your answers.
And giving a great effort with his team, 43 and 57 on the year. That's a great catch. High enough to where you get to that sidewall and check it out and then reach over, jump at the same time. Watch this.
Well, see how he did it too. Did he take his hand and put it up onto the wall and help elevate how high he could get up, braced himself for the fall, came down with the baseball. A nice catch, a highlight catch for Carlos Gonzalez and the Rockies. First out here in the second.
It was Randall Grichuk, the center fielder. Now here's the pitcher, Michael Wacha. So one down is Aaron Laffey on the hill for the Rockies. Michael Wacha, 176 batting average. That one up the middle. LeMahieu's got it though on the backhand.
Yeah, wrong guy. Hit it to the wrong guy. DJ LeMahieu. Let's take a look at the overall numbers on Mr. Laffey as he comes into this ball game in the second inning here in St. Louis, trying to keep things in order at the 2-0 lead for the St. Louis Cardinals. A couple of ball games he's been in so far. 1-0 record, 623, 4 1/3 innings thrown. He's pitched predominantly at the AAA level with Albuquerque, where he has relieved. He started his first career appearance against the St. Louis Cardinals.
Lefty on lefty matchup here as Matt Carpenter stands in, hit a home run back in the first inning, his third in the series. Matt Carpenter, prior to yesterday when he had the 4 hits, had gone 7 for 46. Well, he's brought out the best in him yesterday and into tonight. A 1-0 pitch that missed outside. One of the few guys these days that doesn't wear batting gloves, Matt Carpenter. He said he has never done that. A couple of times in real cold weather in the spring, he thought about it to keep his hands warm, but he resisted that, he says. Just likes to feel the bat in his hand without the batting gloves on. 2-1 to him. Aaron Laffey signed as a free agent minor league deal in the offseason for the Rockies. Started out in AAA before a call up. That's a strike. 2-2.
He'll work between 85 and 89 miles an hour when he's on the mound. Feature a couple of off-speed pitches along with the changeup.
From a windup. Lefty has his sign. 2-2 pitch on the way to Carpenter. And that one's hit to right field. This might go again.
Stop it.
Off the top of the wall. Throw to second could be interesting. A little offline. A double. Another extra base hit for Matt Carpenter.
Yeah, I think he's thinking this ball was a home run. He's looking back at the dugout. And immediately Mike Matheny came out and said, check it. So we're going to go look on the screen to see if it is a home run or not. Well, he wasn't hot before the Rockies got here, and all of a sudden he is on fire. Slider again, not that poor pitch from Laffey. He was set on it. He thought that ball was out of the park. As a matter of fact, he's high-fiving Maloney at first base, his coach. Yeah, I couldn't see the flight of the baseball with everything that's going on. It did look like it hit on top of the golf sign. But what I don't know here about the rules, Jerry, and maybe we can find out, or Doug can, is that the signage that is above the right field wall, was that in play or not in play? You know, in other words, if the ball hits off of that, does it come back? There's not a yellow stripe anywhere around the top of the outfield wall here at Busch Stadium.
That's the question to be answered for sure by the umpires. Time for the Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes. Manager's Challenge brought to you by Subaru. One more look. See where this ball lands. If it lands on that pad, which is part of that golf sign, I think that's a double. If it's above that, perhaps a home run. It's difficult to see.
Yeah, it's hard because you have so many variables of white there from the golf sign and the YP that's right behind it to definitely look and catch it.
Ergo played that ball very well.
Here's going to give you a really good look. I mean, this is what we're talking about right here. As you see all the difference, we'll have an answer right now. Yep, 2 bases.
Yep. Double off the top of the wall for Matt Carpenter. Ever so close to having his 4th home run in the series. We're just getting started in game 2. Mike Feeney just, I think, making sure he's got everything set. So it's a double for Matt Carpenter with 2 outs after a home run he hit in the first inning. And now Stephen Piscotty, who popped out to shortstop his first time. 26 doubles with his 13 home runs now for Matt Carpenter. 6 for 7 Carpenter in the series with 3 homers and 5 RBIs. Pitches outside, ball 1 by Aaron Laffey. Piscotty is a Stanford grad. He played 3 years at Stanford. Actually has gone back and last winter completed his degree in engineering from Stanford. From the Bay Area. And a pitch that caught the strike zone. 1-1. Aaron Laffey as a reliever in his career, 4-4 and a couple of saves, 85 major league relief appearances for this lefty. Piscotty swings and misses at that pitch. Movement on an 84-mile-an-hour pitch there, and it's 1-1. Piscotty, one of several young outfielders in this Cardinal organization that they really feel good about.
And I talked a little bit about it on last night's telecast. When they come up to the big leagues here, they expect you to contribute, not to fit in. You're going to come here to help us win baseball games.
Piscotty called out on strikes. Aaron Laffey through the 2nd inning. Back in a moment.
On Corey Dickerson. This was something that came down late. When we talked to Walt Weiss, he figured that Corey would be available. I talked to head trainer Keith Duggar right before the game started. He had an MRI tonight. He had to go get that done, and I have not seen him in the dugout. Didn't see him in the clubhouse. He's probably unavailable. Those ribs pretty sore, so we'll get another update on him coming up tomorrow. Aaron Laffey stepped into the plate, guys. 1 for 8 in his career, because it's primarily an American League career.
Mark, how about you making a play in the camera well down there?
Do you know
you turned your back on it and you waited till it stopped rolling. You looked like Euchre when he was catching.
It hit the camera. It hit our camera op's hand and bounced down. Otherwise, I was toast, George.
Oh, I know. I saw you turn your back and hide in the corner.
You know, I don't need any more broken bones or surgery. that thing was humming.
Yeah, it was. Pay attention.
Is that an ice bag? Oh, there's a base hit, number 2 in his career for Aaron Laffey. You gotta go back to the camera operator. He's got an ice pack on his hand. Yeah, Stout's right. He got hit by that baseball. Whoa. Hello.
Tony, I hope you're not. Tony, I'm hoping it's not broken.
Maybe he should get an MRI.
Scotty Garrett said it's not broken. He hooked him up with some ice. Going to ice it for a couple innings. Get that thing to kind of go down a little.
You need to step in front of your camera guy and pick that thing off.
That or borrow a glove.
Well, base hit for Aaron Laffey. So here's Charlie Blackmon back to top of the order for the Rockies. And look at a pitch that's in there for strike, 0-1. Charlie having a great month of July, .352 batting average. Laffey at first with a very short lead. Not accustomed to leading off first base much. And that pitch is upstairs to Charlie. 1 ball, 1 strike. Michael Walker, an all-state basketball player in high school as well. Well, being 6'6", we shouldn't be surprised by that. Said he could have played basketball at some smaller schools, but played baseball at Texas A&M. Bouncing ball toward first. That's going to be a foul ball. And we saw Chris Russin last night, the Rockies pitcher, hit a home run. And had Aaron Laffey getting a single to start this inning for the Rockies. Good looking swing right back up the middle. Apparently that's where Carlos Martinez doesn't like you hitting the baseball back up the middle.
Hey, we watched a little bit of that last night, didn't we?
Off the bag a couple steps, Moss, with Laffey taking his lead. Pitch to Blackmon. Bouncer toward first base, grabbed by Walker. He looked at second. He'll go to first to get the sheer out. And down to second base goes Aaron Laffey, 1 down. A terrific pitch again by Michael Walker to just get a slow tapper to first base.
That's that off-speed pitch. He utilizes the changeup a lot. And of course, Laffey's getting all of his instructions from Stu Cole at third base. Hey, the balls are on the line. You got to freeze, fly ball deep enough. You got to tag, go halfway if you got any questions. Make sure the ground ball gets through before you take off. Freeze on the left side. You got it? Yeah, I've been out to second. Last time was in T-ball.
Reyes up there swings the first pitch and a foul. Here's a question for you. Do you know the signs? You're
well,
the ball game
you do know the bunt sign. That's the one sign you do know.
I don't know that he needs to look at any signs here. He's at second base with 1 out. Reyes hit a soft line out to second base, and time given to the catcher, Molina. Game 2 of a 4-game series here in St. Louis. Tomorrow night, Jorge De La Rosa and Lance Lynn. And on Sunday afternoon, Johan Flonde coming off his first major league win. That pitch is bounced off the plate. Walker's got that one. Laffey up to stay at second base. 2 down. Let's look at the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And we look at Carlos Gonzalez as you look at the Cold Hard Facts. What a month of July. Almost 400, 11 home runs, 24 RBIs, slugging percentage, and the RBIs are first in Major League Baseball. The home runs are tied with Mike Trout in the month of July. And the .388 batting average, 5th overall with the 2 leagues combined. What a month of July for Cargo. And he going to finish the month of July well, too. Had a first inning double. That one's in there at strike 1. A lot of talk, even up to the deadline today, about Cargo being moved by the Rockies. Obviously did not happen. Just about it before the game, he said, I'm very, very excited to be remaining in a Rockies uniform. Trying to drive in the Run here. Ground ball hit to third. Tough hop for Carpenter that he handles. Over to first. And the Rockies unable to score. Middle of the third inning here in St. Louis. 2-0. St. Louis with a lead. Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. 2-0 St. Louis with a lead early on. We're in the bottom of the third inning. Back downstairs to Mark Stout.
All right, Jerry, earlier today at about 4 o'clock here Central Time, 3 o'clock Mountain Time, we had a conference call with the GM of the team, Jeff Bryant. He's just talking about trade deadline in the week, and I took some notes from the call. He said that the Rockies were mildly active. Of course, it was early on with Tulo, and then in terms of cargo, he said interest picked up a little bit this week, but he said they weren't in a huge desire internally to deal cargo because he is playing so well. And I asked him in the end, I said, Jeff, was this week overwhelming, underwhelming? He said, you know what, it was neither nor, it was whelming. And I said, I'm going to use that on TV because you never use that word, but it was kind of what he expected. It was a whelming week, and the Rockies, of course, made the big trade early. He did say a couple other things. Not a lot of interest in Malin Rosario. There was some on John Axford. That kind of quieted. And they definitely are going to run a tight ship in respect to the players and letting them know about trades prior.
Colton Wong lifts one to left field on the run. Brandon Barnes makes the running grab. Wong get that ball a long way right into the left field corner, but run down by the good defensive outfielder in Brandon Barnes. Here's one of the many trades happening this week, and Yoenis Cespedes ends up in a Mets uniform acquired from Detroit. Having another strong year, 18 homers and 61 RBIs. The Mets looking for offense. They certainly get it with this guy.
Well, it fell through with Gomez from the Milwaukee Brewers. They needed another bat. They needed to find it quick. There was question marks. What are you going to do whenever Kadire comes back? How are you going to pan out 4 guys that have been starters? But I think it tells me also that Kadire has had problems with the knee, on the bulky knee. That's why he's been placed on the disabled list.
Cleanup man Johnny Peralta at the plate here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Peralta singled his first time up.
Well, major league home runs by a shortstop. This year, he's going to hit a ground ball right to Reyes. He'll deliver to first and retire Peralta. But Peralta's second with 14. Crawford in San Francisco first with 15. Tulo with 13. Desmond with 11. And Rollins with 11.
So Aaron Lappy looking for a 1-2-3 third inning. After the Cardinals scored 2 against the starter tonight, Kyle Kendrick. If he missed, he came out after 1 inning.
And what a huge lift it would be to the bullpen and to the rotation if you're able to do this. And because Lappy started in AAA, but when you have a starter leave the ball game due to injury, if you're able to come in and eat 5-6 innings up, it may buy you a start when that 5th day rolls around again.
Hayward drove in a run, sacrifice fly, first inning. Really swinging the bat well. Last month and a half, 328 since June 17. And that's a bit high. 2 balls and no strikes. And hitting 254 before that time. So really swinging the bat well for the Cardinals when they really needed it. Mike Matheny was talking about him the other day, saying he's got some clutch hits for us and really swinging the bat when we've had injuries and coming through nicely for us. Mason Hayward, the veteran, he'll hit that one to left center field. On the run is Charlie Blackmon. He's going to get there in time to make the catch, and that is a 1-2-3 inning for Aaron Laffey against the Cardinals. We'll head to the 4th after this on Root Sports. All right, Jenny. Thank you, Ryan. It'll be Nolan Arenado leading off this inning for the Rockies. He pops the first pitch up. That's playable.
A lot of times you try to ambush that first fastball when you know the pattern has started to come that way from Walker. Unfortunately, got under it for Nolan and an out to lead off the 4th.
Let's look at our Hyundai league leaders, the hits leaders in the National League this year. Paul Goldschmidt shouldn't be a big surprise there. D. Gordon having a great year. And in 3rd, DJ LeMahieu. Just a couple hits ahead of A.J. Pollock of the Arizona Diamondbacks. What a season for the Rockies all-star second baseman. At the plate now, singled his first time up, so another base hit for DJ. He also, by the way, leads Major League Baseball in right-handed hitters hitting to right field.
How many?
I don't know that. I saw the list the other day. I saw it this morning.
118, actually.
All to right field? Every one of his hits?
I made a believer out of you. I do that to Doug a lot.
How does he respond?
He starts
like
scrambling to see if I actually know what I'm talking about.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Nick Hundley's 3 for 4 in stolen bases. Do you know the 4 times he's been thrown out was on hit and runs? All of them.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I guess I could buy that. That makes some sense. I think he would take a pitch of the dirt. 2-2 with DJ. I think last night when he responded to Carlos Martinez, the first real show of emotion something other than a celebration for DJ that I've seen in the time he's been with the Rockies. He just doesn't show a lot of emotion. He was real upset.
Well, he was. He was just, you know, why are you trying to do the things you're doing? He got second and third, and Martinez, from what I've been told, was talked to pretty heavily after this. The fastball in was second and third and just one out. I mean, DJ's like, kidding me? Tell me to hit the ball up the middle of the plate. And I think when it all ended, when he walked off of the field, he let the Rockies dugout know that he was number one, that they were number one. I'll let you use your imagination, folks. And that upset should have upset. Go back 20 years, you might have had a dog pile.
Did issue an apology after the ball game. Martinez did swing and a miss. Mayhew a little tardy, perhaps, with that swing.
You know what? When you act that way, and you know you acted poorly, and you know you're going to get in trouble with your manager, your teammates, and you caused Colton Wong to get hit in the ball game, all those things that come into it. It's like the kid that didn't clean up his room. Dad, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. And then 2 weeks later, you go in the room still dirty. Well, 2 weeks from now, you can expect that again. Where he loses, and he's a very emotional kid. I get that. But I saw those same type of emotions in Tulsa in a playoff game. Tulsa jumped on him 6-2 and had him down in the third inning, and then those emotions came out in the fourth and the fifth inning, kind of the same scenario which you saw last night.
Mike Matheny saying after the game, and he's going to defend his player a little bit too. He said he's an emotional kid, and that emotion helps him at times as a pitcher, helps his effectiveness, but sometimes to his detriment. Here's a called strike 3 with Ben Paulson. He struck out twice now against Michael Walker. Quick inning for the Rockies in the fourth. We'll head to the bottom of the frame when we come back to St. Louis. Sports is brought to you by the Ford Super Duty. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Here in St. Louis, of course, downtown St. Louis, known for a couple of things, baseball and the Arch.
Did they film that earlier? Are you waving? Did you take a camera in between it? There ain't no way I'm doing that.
Part of our crew this morning. That's the top of the arch there. Had some great shots.
Was that Charlie walking off away from the camera to look down? It was
Charlie Felix. As Aaron Lappe gets back to work, in the first pitch he throws to Yadier Molina is fouled away. Here's the look at downtown St. Louis from the top of the arch. That is, look at the curvature of the earth. That is really something.
Charlie gets to do all the fun things during the day.
Had a great day weather-wise to get a shot or two like that. And there's the famous Gateway Arch right on the banks of the Mississippi.
Not many hits this year for Molina versus left-handers. He's hit just 241 against them. Right-handers, he's hit near 300, 298.
to singles now for Molina in the game. In the first inning, he had something real rare. He had an infield single. He didn't get many of those. So Aaron Laffey had a 1-2-3 third inning. Leadoff single to Molina here in the fourth. And now Brandon Moss. Moss first time up, hit the ball hard, lined out to deep left center field. Charlie Blackmon ran it down. Wide open stands for Moss, high and tight from Laffey, ball one. Cardinals 9-4 since the All-Star break. They're in the midst of a long homestand. It's an 11-game homestand. This is game 8 of it. Already got the best home record in baseball. That one's hit well to left. Going back is Barnes. On the track, he makes the catch. And Molina will hustle back to first base. Well, good running catch again by Barnes.
Well, grab your purple and get out to Coors Field to cheer on your Rockies when they take on the Seattle Mariners in interleague play. They'll make a rare appearance at Coors Field next Monday through Wednesday. Come out and check the Mariners as they try to battle their way back into the race in the American League West. The red-hot Houston Astros made a bunch of trades, but they also have won the first 2 ball games against the Angels when they were in town and took a 2-game lead. Houston trails Arizona 1-0. LA and the Angels, the Dodgers and Angels in the Freeway Series, play later tonight. You know, Moss came up, hit the ball far to left field. And in 2015 this year, he had 15 home runs, 50 RBIs. 2014, he had 25 home runs, 81 RBIs. Career-wise, he's hit just 243, but 106 home runs, 348 RBIs. And that's why the Cardinals acquired him with Matt Adams down.
Yep.
They did not have a left-handed complement. Piscotty, the young kid at the plate, can play first base. Is having to play left field right now. You see Matt Adams in the dugout, just starting to do some baseball activities.
Here's a ground ball. That's off the glove of Arenado in the left. Stopping at second base is Molina. And 2 on with 1 out for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it should be a base hit. The ball that Nolan tried to make a move on it. And he's ranging to the glove side on his left side, a 2-step, 3-step, and then the ball takes a weird hop. Nolan tries to pick the ball up, a base hit for Grichuk as he comes up with that ball to hit it on the left side of the infield.
Probably unfair that we should do it, but we almost come to expect Nolan to make that play.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's very unfair. I mean, if it touches leather with Nolan, you think he's going to catch everything. You don't get to put in the bad hops.
So the pitcher up there's Michael Wacha with 2 on, 1 out, and you certainly think about the bunt possibility here for the Cardinals. Rockies are thinking that. Arenado will stay home at third, and then coming in from first, Paulson. You
got to be careful. 176 hitter this year in his career. He's swung the bat well. He's got 4 RBIs already. Yeah, he can slug bunt, do a lot of different things. This bunts the ball pretty well here. Laffey will scoot off and make the throw to DJ to get the second out.
Good play by Aaron Laffey. He had to go to his knees to get that one. With the sacrifice bunt, puts 2 in scoring position. Molina to third, Grichuk to second. Well, with every challenge call, the Subaru eyesight review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. We had one of those already in the Rockies' favor. And it was from this guy, Matt Carpenter, who thought he had his second home run of the game after hitting 2 last night. Settled for a double off the top of the right field wall. Now he's got 2 in scoring position. The Rockies are going to walk him.
Well, it's not. There's nothing wrong with this. Last night, 3 base hits, a couple of home runs. Tonight, a home run and a double. Obviously, he's seeing it very well. The young right-hander, Piscotty's in the on-deck circle. He had flown out to shortstop and struck out in the second against Laffey.
There's the great respect for Matt Carpenter. This is a lefty-on-lefty situation, which has been no problem for Carpenter in the series. They got a right-handed hitter coming up, but the Rockies want to take their chances with him. Going to load the bases with 2 outs for the rookie Piscotty. And Carpenter heading to first, and the rookie Piscotty will come up. He's 0 for 2. hasn't had many opportunities with a .333 batting average for Piscotty, the rookie out of Stanford. He was a #1 pick, supplemental round a couple of years ago.
Fourth time he's been intentionally walked this year. By the way, Kyle Kendrick left the ball game with right shoulder inflammation. Not his finger, which everybody was looking at out on the mound, but it was the right shoulder inflammation. You know, I look at velocities at times just see if the guy's not thought that he's throwing hard, but is he throwing at his career velocity? Kendrick's 89-92, particularly almost all the time, and some 88s, 91s. Tonight he was 84-86. This tells you there's not a lot of extension. Your arm doesn't feel good. You can't get the full movement of what you're looking for.
1-1 with Piscotty. Aaron Laffey trying to get out of a bases loaded 2-out jam. He had a clean 1-2-3 third. A little different story here in the fourth with a couple of singles, a sacrifice bunt, and an intentional walk. Rockies down 2-0, bottom of the fourth. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Took something off that one. 83-mile-an-hour changeup. Now 2 strikes on the hitter. Laffey's not a big strikeout guy. He gets some occasionally. Sure could use one here.
Big numbers for the Cardinals with the bases loaded and 2 outs or 1 out or less, 149. But with 2 outs, just 182. Make the pitch, end the inning.
Missed outside. Piscotty popped up in the first inning to short, struck out looking his last time up. That was third inning. Crowd trying to help out the rookie. 2-2. Strike 3 called. It caught the outside corner. And the Cardinals leave them loaded. Boy, good work from Aaron Laffey. And a 1-2-3 third. Different story in the fourth, but he gets out of trouble. Still 2-0 St. Louis. And Matt Carpenter with a leadoff home run, his 13th this year. Another double, another extra base hit with a double. Intentionally walked. Kyle Kendrick left the ball game with shoulder inflammation after 1 inning. And Michael Walker shut down the Rockies through 4. The update brought to you by, the game recap brought to you by First Bank. Michael Walker has a younger brother playing college football, University of Wyoming. Lucas Walker, starting linebacker for the Cowboys. When the Cardinals were playing in Denver early June, he was there in attendance. Lucas was. And here's Nick Hundley for the Rockies. Nick thought he had a home run his first time up. Jumped on the first pitch from Walker, and a leaping grab might have robbed him of a home run in right field by Jason Hayward. They were able to get back the fence, find it, make the jump, and if it wasn't going to be a home run, it sure was going to be extra bases. And the first pitch to Nick Hundley, and he'll let that one go. It's in there for a strike. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Coming in with a .304 batting average, Hundley. That's good for 3rd among catchers in Major League Baseball. And this month of July, well over 300 for Nick. Rockies thought he would be a great defensive presence. He has been that. I think the bat he has given them has been a big bonus.
Athletic kid. I thought he could hit better than what he had in his career. I thought also he played in a poor hitter's park. It was Petco. Walker 12 of 16 first pitch strikes.
That one's way upstairs. 2-1 to Hundley. And that's upstairs. Well, about the same spot. 3-1 to Nick. Dad is a football coach and assistant at UNLV. Nick Hundley's father, longtime college assistant for football. Fouled straight back to the screen. It's full count. Nick born in Corvallis, Oregon. Oregon State University, of course, there, and his father was the assistant football coach at Oregon State when Nick was born. And still at it. Full count and a pitch. Swing and a miss. Walker threw the fastball by him. 95 miles an hour. Let's go back to studio. Jenny and Spilly standing by. All right, Jenny, Spilly, thank you very much. Here it's 2-0. The Cardinals with the lead. Brandon Barnes hitting with 1 out, nobody on for the Rockies. There is some bullpen action, it appears now, for the Rockies. Aaron Laffey's done a nice job coming out of the pen for Kyle Kendrick, and that is Gonzalez Germain. Foul ball off the bat of Brandon Barnes.
Take behind-the-scenes tours of Coors Field. Group and individual tickets. They're available year-round. Call 303-ROCKIES to make an arrangement for yourself or for your group to come around and see one of the prettiest ballparks in baseball.
High to Barnes, 2-2. Bounce back to the pitcher his first time up, Brandon did. Walker ready. Big guy's windup. And that's line to right field. That's a base hit.
That was a really nice job of hitting by Brandon Barnes. They wanted to run the fastball inside. He used an inside-out swing, took it between first and second base.
And now Chris Russin is going to come up and hit. This is the pitcher's spot, of course, and Aaron Laffey is done with Germain warming up. And Chris Russin last night with his first major league home run. Here it was.
He got a ball on the inner half of the plate, drove it deep to right field, and they just want to say it's a mistake. It's not a mistake. It's a pitcher hitting a swung back great last night. He also had a bunt single in the ball game.
Hit it against one of the hottest pitchers in baseball at that time, Carlos Martinez. He'll take a pitch low. Last Rocky to hit home run before this swing last night was Jordan Lyles. Did that in April of last season. Last pitcher, I should say, to hit home run for the Rockies, and then Russin did it last night. We've seen some very good swings from him this year. Showing bunt now to throw to first base, close play, but Barnes is back.
A nice job by Aaron Laffey. 3 innings, 3 hits, no runs. He did strike out a couple of batters, 1 intentional walk in the ball game. 37 pitches thrown by Aaron Laffey.
Rockies with their 4th hit on that single by Barnes. And again, the throw to first. Walk has a really quick move over to first base, and that's a close play again. Word is the Cardinals in their minor league system work on pitchers controlling the running game more than any baseball team there is, we are told anyway. The pitch to Russin. He puts a bunt down, and it's a foul ball.
Well, part of that is you've got a very good catcher behind the plate. If you take your time to work on that, and Lou Brock, who was honored tonight at the ballpark with a bobblehead, he'll go to spring training and talk a lot, not just to base runners, but to catchers and to the pitching staff about what disrupted what he did when he was at first base, the different looks that you have. Every team has scouting reports on pitchers. Do they look twice to first, go to home? Do they mix their looks? What do they do to get yourself comfortable?
Rustin will put the bunt down this time back to the pitcher. Only plays at first. And a good sacrifice bunt put down by Chris Russin. Man at second base, Brandon Barnes, 2 outs. Home run last night. Executes the bunt very well tonight.
Well, you say if you're sitting at home and you're going, all right, Jerry, you guys have told me you had a short bench because Dickerson's questionable. So instead of 4, you got 3. You got McHenry as a backup. So instead of 3, you got about 2.5. Because you can't go to McHenry early in the ball game and be without a catcher late in the game. And you say, well, why did you send up Russian to bunt? Why didn't you hang on to Chris to let him pinch hit later in the ball game? Aaron Laffey has 2 at-bats in his career. May not be a very good bunter. And for Walt, if I can get a base hit out of the top of the order right now and get this run across, it's only going to make it better for everything in that dugout. Charlie's hit .304 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. Aaron Laffey, nice job out of the bullpen, partner. Did a really nice job. We mentioned 3 innings, 3 hits. A walk was intentional and 2 strikeouts. Germain is coming out of the bullpen.
That's what the Rockies and their manager hoped he would do. Just keep him in the ball game. The Rockies sitting near there, down 2-0. Trying to break across here in the inning, and there's a ball that gets away from Molina, and down to third base will go Barnes. Didn't have much of a chance on that one. The ball bounced in front of him and straight up. So now 2 outs and a man at third base for the Rockies. It'd be a wild pitch.
Normally Molina's very handsy behind the plate. You got a guy that doesn't throw many wild pitches, but he just dropped that curveball about 10 feet out in front of home plate. I mean, look at that. That is easily out in front of the left-handed batter's box, and all Molina tried to do is just kind of backhand self-defense and hope it didn't hit the umpire. So if you're a hitter, and you were a hitter in college, and it's the same thing. I mean, a hitter's a hitter. I don't care what level you hit that. We haven't seen Walker throw a curveball for a strike yet. He's throwing the changeup and the fastball. So as a hitter, eliminate that out of your mind. If he throws it for a strike, tip your cap and go to the dugout.
3-1 to Blackman.
But back to those scouting reports. I mean, they've got everything now. They got sheets and sheets on each individual guy and how he sets up sometimes on the rubber. Depends on whether he's going to pick or not.
3-1 is hit to the right. Wong's got that one. Boy, good play. Sidearm fling just in time to get Blackman and prevent the Rockies from scoring. Didn't quite punch through in the 5th inning. Middle of the 5th in St. Louis. Still 2-0. Cardinals.
His Lou Brock bobblehead night, and he caught the first pitch earlier tonight. I had a chance to shake his hand. What an honor to meet Lou Brock. And before the game, I also was able to go outside and take a photo of his statue and then go into the Cards Museum. And as a fan, it was neat to see the cap he wore on October 4th, 1964, when the Cardinals clinched the pennant. Lou Brock, one of the greatest base stealers of all time. Over 900 bags in his career. And you see one of his most famous stolen bases. And I know, George, you came up with the Cardinals and played with Lou Brock. One of the things that I didn't know, back in 1979, when Lou was an all-star, he pinch hit in the game for Steve Carlton at the Kingdome and got a hit off of Nolan Ryan in his final all-star appearance at age 40.
Well, it was funny, Mark. In '78, everybody's saying he should retire because he couldn't play anymore, and he hit over 300 that year. Wong's going to drive a ball to deep left. Lou in his career had 938 stolen bases, 1,610 runs. He hit .293. And as a teammate, I saw him get his 3,000th hit. He ended up with 3,023.
And he played left field, so Barnes makes the catch. I wanted to tell you, I said, George Frazier is with us, and he said, tell George I said hello. He is more than a friend to me.
Well, he's a good man. I tell you, when I came to the big leagues, he was my locker mate. So it was a lot of fun being around a guy that I had watched as I grew up. Jermaine, if you're wondering, good fastball. It would be 90-94. His best secondary pitch, the changeup. You know, this year you look at the numbers combined with the Chicago Cubs and the Rockies. He's been in 12 ball games so far. This making his 13th, obviously. 14 2/3 innings, 14 strikeouts. He has walked in. That's kind of been a nemesis for him, is the command issues at times. That hasn't shown up in the Rockies uniform yet.
Shift on here for Johnny Peralta. Mayhew up the middle, almost behind second base. And a count 1-2. Peralta 1 for 2 tonight after a couple base hits in last night's game 1. Stopped an 0 for 19 streak with his first hit last night. That's in the dirt by Germain, and it's 2-2. It's saying that Lou Brock still helps out in spring training, right? With the Cardinals.
Yeah, he's in uniform. Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch him get in uniform. You saw those pictures of him. I think he can still put on the same uniform you've seen a picture of there. Great shape. He travels with his wife, who's a minister, and they travel around an awful lot. And as he sits and listens to her, as he said, she's the star now.
Is that what he says?
Yeah. I just stay in the back and listen and say, yes, dear.
And that's to LeMahieu. DJ's got this one. Easy play. Peralta is out number 2.
Hey, the first 10,000 fans that come to the gates against the Mariners next Thursday, or excuse me, next Tuesday, you're going to receive a coupon for a Hebrew National hot dog. It's $1 hot dog day. So get your tickets now for the ball game next Tuesday with the Mariners in town. Go to Rockies.com/promotions or just call the Rockies, 303 Rockies, and get tickets for that ball game.
2 outs with Gonzalez Germain on the mound. Nobody on. Jason Hayward, the hitter. 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly, and he'll foul that one out of play for strike 1. Hayward, we mentioned, is from the Atlanta area. Both of his parents are Ivy League graduates, and the story goes that for Hayward, if he wasn't drafted number 1 in the first round, he was going to go to college. That was agreement had with his folks, and drafted in the first round by the hometown Atlanta Braves.
So you tell me he played really hard his senior year?
Yes, exactly.
I don't want to go to college. Mom, Dad, come on. Well, you better go. Hope you go in the first round.
His father played basketball at Dartmouth. Shift is on for him, and he'll bounce that one off the front foot. That's a foul ball.
What is it, the Dartmouth Green Wave? What are they? I'm trying to remember. I know their colors are green. What are they, Dougie? The Dartmouth what? That's what I thought. I stumped you too. Big green? I said Green Wave. I was close.
You're thinking of Mean Green, Texas.
That was
North
Joe
Texas.
Green, the lineman for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hayward pops that one up. And
that's going to be a long run for Hundley, and it's going to not get there. Stout, let's go. That's 2 for 2 tonight.
Wow, Stout, come on.
I'm a little excited for Stout. You gave it to the same guy. Stout.
Wow. Dartmouth Big Green.
Big Green there.
Big Green.
There you go. So I got a couple of T-shirts at home.
Do you really?
I actually do, yeah. I do.
Are they green?
No, they're gray with green lettering. Doug doesn't believe me. I do.
There's a base hit to center field. Boy, against the shift, and good piece of hitting for Jason Hayward, taking it right back up the middle. 2 outs, man at first for the Cardinals. Yadier Molina will come up against Gonzalez Germain. 3rd pitcher tonight for the Rockies. Kendrick went 1 inning, left with shoulder problems. Aaron Laffey, and now Germain. Yadier Molina is 2 for 2. Molina came up in the 9th inning last night with the bases loaded and popped out to shallow right center field when the Rockies had those 2 outfielders. There were no outs at that time. Yadi wasn't real happy after the ball game with that at bat. Obviously, his team came through after that for him. And that pitch missed, and it's 1-0.
Hayward does have the stolen bases. You got to pay attention to him. 15 stolen bases. He's been caught twice.
A good lead away from first. Another extra half a step. And time is given to the catcher, Nick Hundley. Molina, the youngest of the 3 catching Molina brothers. Older brothers Benji and Jose, all from Puerto Rico.
I think Jose's a coach in the Giant organization.
He is doing that. You're right. That's a foul ball. Well, he's been asked, I'm sure, several times, Yadier Molina, how'd all 3 of the brothers end up catchers? And his answer is always interesting. He said, we're all really slow, so we ended up as catchers.
Hey, he's got 2 stolen bases this year.
Yes, he does.
How'd that happen?
And he has had the distinction of being the slowest man in baseball. I don't know how you test that or know that.
Well,
for sure,
somebody's got a stopwatch somewhere.
Yeah. Swing and a miss.
Good changeup.
Yeah, good Germain.
Really good changeup. Bottom fell out of the pitch at 84.
Molina looking fastball there. So 1-2. Gonzalez Germain. We saw a former Cub last night, Chris Russin, get a start. Germain, a former Cub, at it tonight from the bullpen. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got Yadier Molina. Now the Rockies pitchers have been good since that first inning. We'll head to the 6th inning with the Rockies down in St. Louis in Game 2.
June 10th, I went over to the. I think it was June 10th. I went over to the Cubs. I had to think for a minute. June 10th, I went over to the Cubs. It was July that I went to the Yankees. Just trying to figure all these things out. I never was in August. I didn't go in August. I was traded in 84, 81, 76. I was traded in 78 to the Cardinals from in the wintertime. So, yeah.
Jose Reyes at the plate for the Rockies. He loops that ball foul. Count is 1-2.
Spilly, did you ever get traded? Did Spilly ever get traded?
I don't
I don't think he got traded.
No.
You got traded to where?
In Mexico.
Well, you used to go down there every winter. I thought it was a great move by you, by the way. You'd go down there every winter in January, get ready for spring training, go down for the playoffs. Yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a great move on your part. I enjoyed winter ball. I had a blast down in the Dominican. I loved it.
2-0 Cardinals. We're in the 6th inning here at Busch Stadium. 2 runs scored by the Cardinals way back in the 1st inning against Kyle Kendrick. Swing and a miss by Jose Reyes. He chased the pitch. It was an off-speed pitch and a beauty thrown by Walker. That's that great changeup that Michael Walker throws.
But he hadn't shown the curveball. You and I talked about that the previous inning. He hadn't been able to show the curveball yet for strikes. But, man, he can throw this changeup and really get inside the baseball. And if you're an aggressive hitter, see the wide stance by Jose. And he goes out to try to slap at it and take it to the other side, and unfortunately comes up empty-handed. A lot of drop on that ball in his last 3 or 4 feet at the plate.
Yeah, he throws a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. He's hit that tonight, we've seen, and then that changeup mid-80s. Off speed to Cargo is ball 1. Double back in the 1st inning. 1 for 2 tonight.
You know, when I went to winter ball the first time in '78, Rico Cardi was playing down there. He had 204 career big league home runs, and for Licey, all the Alou brothers were still playing. That was fun to play that outfield. A lot of great players. It's a great experience to go down there.
Now tipped at the plate, 1-2.
Remember, he went fastball in and tried to get the ball by him. And he ricocheted that thing off the right field wall. Let's see if they go back in there again. I really felt like they might go to the changeup on him, and they will. Ask for the ball down, ask for the ball away. Cargo able to make contact.
Not too many hotter hitters these days, certainly in the month of July, than this guy, Carlos Gonzalez. And that changeup is outside. Home runs in July. Here's the chart for that and the way they pitched him, George.
Well, we always talk about plate coverage, and you can see the majority of those, all with the exception of 2. There's one splits the middle. Everything else is away from him. So he's been able to do stuff with the fastball away and hit it out to the opposite field. He's been able to pull the ball into right center field. That big long swing and a powerful swing, he's able to drive the ball out of the ballpark.
And I think he was being pitched this way early in the season, but rolling everything over. And now waiting, letting the ball travel and driving the ball more. At least that's what he was talking about with the media the other day. And a check swing, still 2-2.
Trying to make him honest with the fastball in at 96.
Two, and it's low. He's worked the count full. Walker has not walked anybody tonight. He rarely does that anyway. He's 3-2 with Cargo. 1 out in the top of the 6th. Nolan Arenado is on deck. Pulled it foul.
84 pitches in the ball game for Walker right now, and then there hasn't been many balls thrown in this ball game, just 27.
Talked about the Cardinals earlier, taking draft picks late that have panned out very well. This was a #1 pick, Walker. That one's popped up down the right field line. Might be playable. Oh, going to reach the seats. Good battle here. Cargo and Walker.
Yeah, the 11th pitch coming to Cargo.
What do you throw? Fastball, or you throw that fading changeup?
How about a fastball for a walk?
Yep, and a missed outside and low. There's the first walk of the game issued by Walker. Cargo at first. Nolan Arenado coming up.
Nolan on the night is grounded out to third. A nice play made by Carpenter early in the ball game when the ball hit deep behind third base, and then he popped out to first baseman Moss in front of the Cardinal dugout to lead off the 4th inning.
Nolan, a little quieter road trip. He was 1 for 11 in Chicago. He is 1 for 7 in this series, these 2 games.
Typical of the Cardinals late in the ball game. You can see Carpenter hug the line at third. They'll give up the single, not the double.
And that pitch is low to Arenado. So after a walk, ball 1 to Nolan. You see Carpenter at third. That is about as close as you see a third baseman playing the line. And don't you, George, see that a little bit later in the game, 8th and 9th inning rather than the 6th?
I think in a run short game like this, they're going to go ahead and if they catch Nolan in their eyes, Derek Littlequist, their pitching coach, catch that maybe Nolan's trying to cheat on the fastball. They throw the changeup, pull it down the line. They don't want to double. They don't want a second, third situation.
Saw the same thing last night with Carpenter earlier in the game. That one's hit well to left center field, but just got under it a little bit. Well, he had a good swing, but that'll be out number 2. Nolan upset with himself that he missed a good pitch. He had a fastball to hit.
Yeah, the heavy air like this can create that ball to stop rather quickly.
You know, the day after every Rockies win, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. A promo code ROXWIN, ROXWIN at papajohns.com. Very, very popular with my teenage son.
I can believe that. And his friends.
And here's LeMahieu. And strike 1 called. DJ, another hit, had it the first inning, struck out his last time up. .326 batting average for the All-Star second baseman. That one is hit to right, but Hayward's going to be there, and he makes the grab. Hit well by LeMahieu, but it's out number 3, and the Rockies unable to punch through against Michael Wacha. We'll come back to the bottom of the 6th after these messages. And someone with the picture with the Rockies mascot, Dinger. Katie Brinkley, thank you for sending us that one. That's a good picture. That might be a keeper right there. That sight right there you saw beyond left field, that is Cardinal Nation, they call that, little development with restaurants and shops. That's where the old Busch Stadium used to be, right there. That's the spot where the old Busch Stadium was, and now there's quite a development there. And that area will be hopping after the ball game, I promise you.
Well, they even opened that top area up where you can see the ball game. So a lot of times people go over there and sit and watch the ball game. When it's a sellout, they can't get a ticket in here. They get a ticket over there.
Yep, you're selling tickets above on the rooftop. Pretty good view right there.
Not bad.
And that sea of red here in St. Louis. Brandon Moss leads off. Gonzalez Germain is on for the second inning of work. Good work by Aaron Laffey. 3 scoreless from the bullpen. Moss has hit the ball hard deep to left center field 2 times, and he's been an out both times. You look that one down the left field line. That's going to slice into the crowd, and the count is 0-2. 124th season of baseball here in St. Louis with the Cardinals.
They really embraced their former players. You saw Lou Brock tonight early today. I went by to see former Rockies Matt Belisle and good friend Pete Cosma. Red Shane Dees came in, was going in the locker room to have a cup of coffee, relax, and talk a little baseball.
Still going strong at age 80-something, George?
Oh, I think I don't know. Ask Dougie. Dougie will tell us, but I think Red's probably 90 now.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Last year when we were here, he was on the field. He was walking around in uniform.
Well, he spends a lot of time in uniform. Does it during the course of the year, too, in spring training.
Original team was the St. Louis Browns in 1882. Later became the Cardinals. Quite a history of baseball in this city. That one's hit to right center. Cargo's on the run. He's going to catch up to it, and Moss has hit 3 deep fly ball outs in this ball game. 1 down in the 6th inning.
He's thinking about this being a pretty tough league. There's Red.
Here he is.
He's at the ballpark, wide awake and watching the ball game. Enjoying an ice cold Coca-Cola.
Yeah, coffee earlier, now the Coca-Cola. Yeah, he was on the field in uniform last time, wandering around. Last year, wandering around. He's not doing that, we were told this year. Age 92, Doug tells us. They take care of their former players here, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They really bring him back in, put him in uniform, have him very welcomed into the locker room. Yeah, it was funny today. I was sitting outside waiting for him to open the locker room at 3:15 to go in. Red walked in, and the doors just opened. He went right on in the locker room. I thought somebody was peeking on the other side.
Grichuk fouls that one, 1-1. Daniel Descalso with the Rockies, former Cardinal, came up with his team, drafted by them, and he said, and we saw it last night, he said, once a Cardinal, always a Cardinal. He got a standing ovation when he came up last night.
Yeah, it was pretty neat last night. Long-time teacher in the organization, George Kissel, was here and set the standard of what you do defensively, offensively, how you act, the way you treat the Cardinal uniform. George no longer with us, but boy, was he a great mentor to an awful lot of players that have wore the Redbird uniform. Manus, the right-hander, starting to warm up down in the bullpen. Pitch count, I don't think, is nearly a problem at all for Walker. They probably want to give Manus an opportunity. Walker's at 92 pitches with a 2-0 lead. And Dougie gave us the numbers prior to the game. He was 1-1 with a 6-something ERA in his last 3 starts.
Randall Grichuk, good battle here with Germain. And that's in the dirt, 3-2. Randall Grichuk, I got a trivia question, George, for you.
All right.
It was the man drafted ahead of Mike Trout. First, the pick right before Mike Trout.
Randall Grichuk.
Yeah, good call.
So are you saying the Cardinals screwed up on one deal?
Actually, the Angels picked him, and then they picked Trout right after that. There's a line drive that's trouble down the left field line. That's a fair ball.
Yeah, that's going to be a ground rule double as it hopped up into that camera well down in the left field corner.
So he wins the battle against Germain with a 1-out double. He's got his second hit tonight, single earlier.
Got into a fastball count, came back to the fastball. Grichuk's always been a pretty good low ball hitter, and he went down and got this sinker and just pulled it down into the corner. Or Stout when you need him. Why didn't he make a play?
He's busy getting ice for the cameraman again.
They're around all over the ballpark.
You know, Michael Walker will try to put a bunt down, we would think here. No, going to swing away, and he fouls it back to screen. Let him swing. He swings the bat pretty well. We saw that in Denver with Walker. Very, very good athlete. They're going to let him try to knock in a run here. St. Louis scored their 2 runs in the first inning. A home run by Carpenter and a sacrifice fly by Jason Hayward. Milwaukee has grounded out, put a sacrifice bunt down tonight. And that's in the dirt. 1-1. Gonzalez-Germain with a good 5th inning, gave up a 2-out single to Hayward, but then came back and struck out Molina. Got the first out in this inning, and now a man at second base. Walker swings and misses at that pitch. Boy, good action on a breaking ball there against a right-handed hitter. 1-2. Richick away from second. Germain trying to get a strikeout. And a ground ball up the third base side. That'll be a foul ball.
Well, Star Wars Night is back for the 2015 on Saturday, August the 22nd. Doug will show up as something with a pregame parade for fans in costume. Purchase the Star Wars ticket package to receive the 2015 limited edition Star Wars Night t-shirt.
Michael Walker with a count of 1-2. Matt Carpenter on deck. We'd love to get this guy with Carpenter coming up. Gonzalez-Germain, a long look to second. Then the pitch. Just missed. A little low and outside.
As a pitcher, how did he take that?
Good question. Good eye. 2-2.
Doug, what are you going to do on Star Wars Night? What are you going to dress up as? Chewbacca? It's a good choice. You think Drew's coming as Yoda or R2-D2? R2-D2? Yeah.
George, you're coming as Princess Leia, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I kind of like the Darth Vader thing. Yeah.
Fit that one pretty well.
Yeah, tall. Umpire Ed Hitchcock looks like he's got partial Darth Vader for a helmet on.
Walked him. Walked the pitcher, did Germain. Now it gets interesting. First and second for the Cardinals, 1 out, and there's Matt Carpenter.
Well, it's Germain's inning to get out of because of there's nobody throwing down in the Rockies bullpen. The one left-hander's already gone. The other is Friedrich, who threw an inning last night. And Logan went 2/3 of an inning. So Steve Foster's going to go out and have a quick visit.
Question for you, George. This Cardinals franchise with all this success, and it seems every year they just keep coming back regardless of what they've done the previous year. You played here. What is it in your mind that's a key to success all these years for these Cardinals?
Well, I think it's the fact they teach them to be professionals, number one, when they first sign. And it takes guys longer. And the ones that can't figure it out aren't wearing a Cardinal uniform very long, even at the minor league level. They've been at great stroke of luck with guys like Rosenthal, Secrest, the different guys that were starters at 290, 92. They throw them into the bullpen, all of a sudden 95 to 100. I think that's been a big key. Pitching's always been a marquee part of what they've done in their organization, top to bottom. And they've always had a pretty good pitcher's ballpark to come throw in.
Yep.
Here, the heavy air here in St. Louis, even on the AstroTurf back in the days. You go all the way back to Bob Gibson, Dizzy Dean before that. Bob Forsch, he threw 2 no-hitters here. John Denny was pretty good. Pete Falcone, a left-hander that was here. And of late, Carpenter.
And George, I thought Daniel Descalso said something really interesting the other day. He said in the minors for the Cardinals, they do 2 things. Number one, they stress winning. They want teams to win.
Right.
And they give everybody a chance, no matter where you're drafted. He said that makes a big difference for
part
guys like him who were drafted late.
Well, part of that's George Kissel. Kissel didn't care if you were in the 30th round or the first round. If he felt like you needed to work on your stroke, you need to work on turning double plays, fly balls, whatever it may be, he was going to put the time in with you to do it. And he was also going to oversee the fact you were going to take the time to do that. I think the other thing that helped, the Cardinals hired a guy named Gary LaRocque, who had been an assistant GM with the Mets. He's been a farm director. He's been a scout. He's done a number of different things. And John Mozeliak hired him. And his sole job is to watch all the minor leagues and report to John and give him his reports on what's going on in Springfield, what's going on in Memphis, who's ready to come help us in the big leagues, who's ready to make that move.
0-2 on Carpenter, and he missed outside 1 and 2.
And I think that's big. I think when you have that type of a mind that you can send there, and he'll spend a week in Springfield, a week in Memphis, and go back to High A in Florida and watch them, and he'll go to Low A in the Midwest League. He'll move around to watch their ball clubs. 40 years of experience as a player also. Gary was a middle infield in a Brewer organization.
This Cardinals team at this level just seems every time they lose something, they have someone else standing by ready to fill in. 1-2 pitch is bounced foul. Carpenter's got a piece of that. You look at Albert Pujols and when he leaves here, they'll fall way off. Never missed a beat out.
No, they didn't miss the beat. I mean, Matt Holliday picked it up. Matt Adams picked it up. They had guys that could step in and fill the role.
1 down in this inning. Men at first and second for the Cardinals. Bottom of 6th, and the red-hot hitter Matt Carpenter at the plate for Gonzalez Germain. Got him down 1 and 2. Germain really taking his time between pitches now. Outside and low, 2-2 to Carpenter. He doesn't chase anything out of the strike zone, does he, George? That guy's got a tremendous eye.
He doesn't play. He doesn't hit in the leadoff spot that often.
Yeah, no.
That's the crazy part about him. He's normally down in the lineup, but they wanted to get the bat squared away a little bit. Well, they did. Swinging the bat very well again, particularly the last 2 days against the Rockies. Try to get him to roll over on the ground ball here, flip the double play, and get out of this inning.
Haven't seen many of those for the Cardinals in these 2 games. 2-2. Outside again, full count. You got speed at second base. You got the pitcher at first. You send the guys on 3-2 and 1 out, George?
I don't think so. Not with a left-handed hitter up. You run the risk of having a swing and miss strikeout. You got the right-hander in the on-deck circle. Friedrich is starting to play catch down in the Rockies bullpen. He's gone over to get a drink, but he was up throwing in the Rockies bullpen.
Germain again, long time to get his sign to step off the rubber. Pretty big moment in this ball game right here. 3-2 with Matt Carpenter. Cardinals 2-0, and again Germain can't get the sign. Hundley's going to go out and get on the same page, or try to, with Germain. Grichuk with a 1-out double, a walk to Michael Wacha, and a 3-2 count on Matt Carpenter. There's Friedrich. Germain has a sign this time. Runners going, a ground ball pulled foul.
And again, I said I wouldn't do it because the left-handed hitter, you got a clear throwing path to third base. But if they see something in Germain that he doesn't look back, he doesn't give the second looks when the 3-2 counts, and they've got it all. So he doesn't look back on 3-2. He's focused on throwing that strike, get a big lead. If you can go. And so I think that's what they looked at. The other side of it is Carpenter doesn't strike out very much. He's going to put the ball in play.
That's a big factor. Paulson playing behind Wacha, who's got a huge lead at first base.
Yeah, it could be too. They're trying to open up things in the middle of the infield by putting the runners in motion. And one thing I did notice, though, that the infield stayed pat defensively.
Ground ball hit right side. LeMahieu's got it. They'll wait for Paulson to get there, and they'll get the out at first base. Runners advance. Good play by LeMahieu going to his left. 2 down.
And I like the fact your man came back and made the pitch he needed to make to get the out against a very good left-handed hitter.
Finally got Matt Carpenter out. He hadn't done so tonight. Got him out once last night at a ground ball to second. So here's that right-handed hitter that George is referring to, Stephen Piscotty, who is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice, both looking tonight. He's also popped out to short. Rockies trying to keep that Cardinal lead at 2.
Well, neither one of these ball clubs, the big runs coming on the big blow. 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, both teams.
0-1.
Scotty was struck out by Laffey with men in scoring position in his previous at bat.
Germain has the sign, still working from the stretch with 2 outs. Center field. Blackman on the run. It's over his head. Will score 2 runs. Piscotty into second base with a stand-up 2-run double. 4-0 St. Louis. Boy, you roped that thing to center field. Charlie Blackman had no chance.
No chance whatsoever. You're playing defensively off to the right side of second base. And a ball hit dead center field, squared up with a lot of backspin, and Charlie tried to make a break onto the baseball to get a hold of this fastball, and it did not get there. Out of the hands, and you see the flight of this ball take off. Charlie gave up, knowing that he was going to have to play it off the wall, wanted to be positioned for that. A strong throw back into second, 4th RBI for him in his career, and Walt Weiss is more than likely going to make a double switch here.
Appears to be the
see
case.
Which way he's going to go with it.
You got Christian Friedrich, the lefty, warming up, and Colton Wong just got introduced, and we'll get the double switch. So 4-0 Cardinals. Big hit there by Stephen Piscotty, the rookie outfielder. We'll take a break. We'll come back to Busch Stadium after this and tell you about the changes with the Rockies. The Rockies now trail. It's a double switch for the Rockies. First of all, the former Cardinal Daniel Descalso will come in. That's Gonzalez Germain, who just gave up the 2-run double to Stephen Piscotty. There is Descalso. He'll play second base now. So DJ LeMahieu is out of the ball game, and Christian Friedrich is on the mound.
Now the left-hander is going to come in, making his 45th appearance. He'll face Colton Wong. Colton Wong and Friedrich have met many times. A lot of that in the minor league system, particularly in the Texas League and then in AAA. 0-2, 436 earned run average, 43 1/3 for him. Left-handers have hit just 237 against Christian Friedrich. 2 outs, runner on second. The Rockies trail 4-0.
Friedrich from the stretch to look to second, and Wong will take that in there for a strike. Kolten Wong, University of Hawaii native, tremendous high school football player as well, all-stater there in the state of Hawaii. Got a younger brother playing in the Tampa Bay Rays organization. He'll take that pitch outside. 2013 Cardinals minor league player of the year. Former first rounder. One pitch is outside. 2-1. Friedrich from the Chicago area had one appearance in that series against the Cubs with lots of friends and family looking on.
Well, Wong's another one of those bats in the lineup that has struggled. .315 when he came around June 5th. Since then, just .228 average.
Fouls that one away. 2-2. Wong starting in the number 3 hole for the first time in last night's game, so just the second time of the season here. Matt Holliday's injury, of course, is prompting all this lineup shift for the Cardinals. But it seemed to work out pretty well last night for him when they scored 9 runs and have a 4-run lead tonight. Coming into the series, they had not scored a run in 22 consecutive innings. And Wong fouls that fastball back. Christian Friedrich trying to end the inning for the Rockies after 2 runs given up by Gonzalez Germain. He cruised through the last inning, but got in trouble in this one with the walk, especially to Micah Wacha. Just caught a piece of that one, bounced off the plate toward the backstop. It just seems like time after time the walks that the Rockies issue come back and bite them. I mean, maybe when you're losing like the Rockies are and you're 43-57, that seems to present itself more often. But another walk, this time to a pitcher, and that pitcher scores. When you look at the Rockies pitching, you see a difficult combination. They have the fewest strikeouts of any staff in the National League and the second most walks issued. Loop down the left field line. Barnes on the run. He can't get it. Another run will score. 5-0 St. Louis. RBI for Kolten Wong, his second hit of the night. And that big 9th inning swing last night. And he's at first with 2 outs.
Well, look out of the hand of Christian Friedrich and a ball that he just sliced. He fouled off about 4 of these pitches away from him. This one gets lucky enough to be sliced into the outfield, curving away from Brandon Barnes. He's able to get it back in with 2 outs and keep Wong at first. But Wong on the season now, hitting 3rd in that lineup that Jerry just mentioned. Wong picks up his 44th RBI of the year.
Johnny Peralta looks at strike 1. Johnny Peralta quietly has had a terrific career. I mean, a very good one offensively. Doesn't have the range with a lot of shortstops, but this guy can really hit. And that one's hit well. The center, Charlie Blackmon going back. It turned out to be a huge inning for the Cardinals. 5 runs are scored. It's 7-0 St. Louis.
Just the 3rd home run that Friedrich had given up this year in 43 1/3 innings. The the right-handed hitting Peralta puts an exclamation point here in the 6th inning of this ball game. A 5-run inning for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he's carried to left center field. 2 balls that have gone out in center field tonight.
Jason Hayward looks at strike 1. Johnny Peralta is just a big, strong guy. I mean, the ball just jumps off his bat, and it sure did there with that swing. 15 homers now. Not talked about as one of the elite hitting shortstops, but he should be. He's got the numbers in his career to go along with that. 1-1 on Hayward. Drove in the second run of the game for the Cardinals. Hayward did back in the first inning. Sacrifice fly. Is 1 for 2 with the sacrifice and an RBI. In the dirt, it's 2-1. So the Cardinals in this homestand, the 2 games prior to when the Rockies got here, played the Reds, got shut out both times, 4-0 and 1-0. I mentioned hadn't scored in 22 innings, and they scored 9 last night, 7 so far tonight. Hayward lines it to center field.
He made the double switch in hopes that Christian would be able to come in and calm the inning down. He may have to be forced in to go out and visit, and then forced to get your bullpen going again. You got still a 2 1/3 innings to be worked here in this ball game. Walt Weiss looking over his roster. See Foster heading to the mound for a quick visit.
Foster's been busy. He came out in the first inning of this ball game with Kendrick.
So if you're on the road while traveling, you want to watch your Rockies, subscribe to MLB.TV Premium for live or on demand on over 400 devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, and more. Sign up today. MLB.TV. How'd I do? Did I do
Well
it
done.
right?
Well done. You didn't just read that. You sold it.
I sold it?
Yeah.
Maybe can I get a cut of that?
See work on that for you.
Yeah.
2 outs in this inning. A man at first base, Yadier Molina, is 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a couple of singles. A breaking ball drops in for him. Strike 1. Five runs across 13 hits now tonight for the Cardinals. 5 hits in this inning. Fouled away. Isn't it funny, George, this game of baseball, we talk about a lot how a walk can get a rally started, and a walk to a pitcher nonetheless.
Yeah, that's the most difficult part that you have to deal with, is the fact that that's exactly what's happening. You're sitting here cruising along, next thing you know, you're dealing with this.
And just missed outside. 1-2 to Molina.
I wouldn't be surprised either if they go to their bullpen. And the only reason I say that, he's thrown 92 pitches. It's been a very long half inning. He ran the bases, so there's a lot of sitting. Yep. He might. Their bullpen's set down watching the ball game.
7-run lead. Missed outside again. 2-2.
It sure was good to see Matt Belisle and spend some time visiting with him today in their locker room. He's got a little bit of a nerve issue on the outside of his forearm and connected to the elbow. Letting it calm down before he'll get back and get in action again.
He's been solid for the Cardinals this year. Typical Matt Belisle. And that's in the dirt, so it's 3-2. Started 0-2 on Molina, now 3-2. And Ben Paulson will back up, play behind the runner at first base. That's Hayward. He'll take off on a 3-2 count. 5-run inning for the Cardinals here in the 6th. Blown the game open. Payoff pitch. Walked him. That was the 9th man to hit in the inning, and another walk issued by Rockies pitching. First and second and 2 gone.
19 pitches so far. 11 of those have been balls, or 8 balls, 11 strikes. Coming out of the bullpen, you'd like to see almost a 3-to-1 ratio as far as that's concerned. See some guys starting to mill around down in the Rockies bullpen, starting to stretch and move around a little bit. John Axford being one of those guys. As Walt mentioned today that he was going to take him out of the closer's role for a couple of days, take some heat off of him, let him try to get settled back in again, and then put him back in that role. He would use Betancourt, Canely, and Miller if he had to, and that role as the closer.
Here's Brandon Moss. He has the opportunity to do something you don't get to see very often. Make 2 outs in 1 inning. He is going to hit it into the shift to Reyes. He'll throw to first base, and the inning finally comes to an end. 10 sent to the plate by the Cardinals in the 6th inning, and they score 5 times. We have played 6. It is 7-0 St. Louis. The 4-game set, and let's get to a text message up on this Fan Friday coming from Beth. This is for George. George, for you, have you been a part of a total team rebuild like the Astros or the Brewers?
Semi with the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, they made a lot of trades, picked up some guys, and I was traded over there for Toby Harrah and went to Cleveland from the New York Yankees. And by June 10th, they said, okay, we're done. They said Sutcliffe, myself, Ron Hassey to the Chicago Cubs for a pretty good outfielder named Joe Carter, Mel Hall, and Don Schultze. So, yeah, you get into those deals when they start. Of course, it's so much different now. They, like A.J. Prowler right now, he was trying to deal a lot of guys away and didn't get anybody dealt. But there's some guys, some teams that look at it and say, all right, if I can dump this money out now, I can spend it over the offseason in free agents. I can spend it in the international market. I can do different things to make our whole organization better. And I think that's what they look at. But I got a couple of double barrels going down there now in their bullpen.
Walker's back on the mound for the 7th inning. Paulson swings and misses. Then struck out 3 times against Walker in Denver, and he struck out twice in 2 at-bats tonight against Walker.
Tells you not picking the ball up very well out of the hand. Well, Judge Choate's now up. Paulson 12 for 28. When he's faced the pitcher the 3rd time in a ball game, he comes up short-handed here against Walker.
0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts against
Jerry,
Walker.
let me help you out. When Dougie gives me a good note like that, you got to give it to me early, because I can't see you a long ways away. And his flips tonight. Everybody, Jack was bragging on him last night. His command of his flips with the stickies.
Yeah.
Tonight he stinks.
Off tonight.
We need some relief help for him tonight.
All right. We could do that. Hand him to me. I'll flip him over to George.
Here, you flip him back to Doug. See, I flipped it right in for a strike. Dougie, watch Dougie. See, Dougie, that's the first one all night. First, TV's on, now you're going to show up. Come on. What's wrong with you? Huh?
I like the way he flips him and lands him right side up,
yeah,
too.
well,
That's
that way you can read them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's the good part. See, I'm trying to practice a little bit on this. That wasn't bad. I threw him a heater. Watch this. Now, this is what I've been used to getting. See,
I've caught a couple right here that he's thrown. I caught one in the forehead earlier.
I like to throw him out the window because it's his writing.
It's like Cracker Jacks at home. I throw him out the window.
To you from Dougie.
Nick Cunley, the hitter for the Rockies, 1 out in the 7th. Cunley has struck out and flied out to deep right tonight against Walker. This will be pitch number 99. And it's popped up. Shallow right, long run for Hayward. It's the second baseman, Wong, taking control and making the grab. 2 outs for the Rockies, who have managed just 4 hits tonight against Michael Walker. They roughed him up pretty good in Denver, but different story tonight here in St. Louis for this big right-hander. And Brandon Barnes will see what he can do. Brandon Barnes with a base hit, so one of the 4 hits for the Rockies tonight. A single in the 5th inning. He got to third base, and then the Rockies couldn't get him in. Swinging a foul back as John Axford continues to throw in the Rockies' pen. There he is.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, Walt true to his word. He said he wanted to get him out of the 9th and get him some time with less pressure, like George talked about earlier. One thing that Axford I thought was real stand up after the game. He texted out last night that he apologized to Rockies fans for his bad work the last handful of games, especially last night. There's strike 3 to Barnes. Boy, Walker is on his game tonight. 7th inning stretch here in St. Louis. It's 7-0 Cardinals.
To Chris Bryant. Then last night, a walk-off walk. He tweeted this last night. Absolute worst stretch of my career. Sorry, Rockies fans. You deserve better. I'm going to keep working hard. I want to turn it around. And John Axford is a stand-up guy. He talked to us after the game last night and also earlier today. This is before we talked to Walt Weiss, who said he made a decision on taking him out of the closer role.
Had a conversation with John a little earlier and told him that's what I was going to do. Just get him out of that 9th inning for a little bit and catch his breath. And, you know, I think that tends to work. I mean, there's a lot of closers that go through tough stretches, and you know, you get them out of the heat a little bit, and you know, get him back on the roll before you plug him back in. So that's what I'm going to do.
So here he is in the 7th. He got his first save ever, the last day of the 2009 career against the Cardinals on the road at Busch Stadium. And that's because the guy that he came up with, Trevor Hoffman, blew a save. And he said today, yeah, he talks to Trevor Hoffman to this day because those are the guys that tell you what you do and can't do, and you have to have a short memory. George, you know it better than anybody.
Absolutely. I mean, Mark, that's the one thing working out of the bullpen. And again, I say this all the time, and fans, you know, want to give me a hard time, go ahead. The last 3 outs of a game are the toughest outs in a ball game. The hardest thing to do after you do blow a save is to walk in and face your other 24 teammates that you failed after they worked 8.5 innings to get a lead. It's one of the toughest things you could do in baseball.
Starts 2-0 with Randall Grichuk. 7th inning, 6th inning, the Cardinals sent 10 to the plate, scored 5 times. Another 2 runs came in the 1st inning. Rockies threatened a couple of times, unable to punch through against Michael Wacha. There's a foul to the screen, 2-1. Grichuk with 2 hits tonight. So look at John Axford's numbers on the year. That ERA was down for a while, but it is up these days. John Axford, lefties and righties. You would think that would be flipped a little bit, but he's done better against left-handed hitters. 2-1. It's fouled away. Went with the fastball. Still got great velocity. There was 95 miles an hour.
Well, he's going to be 94, 96, touch of 97 at plate occasionally. Very good curveball.
A challenging year for John in a couple of different ways. I like it. And I like the fact that Walt's putting him right back out there. 2-2 on Grichuk, and the pitch. Strike 3 called. Well, that right down the middle of Grichuk. And so John Axford comes back on for the Rockies and starts with a strikeout.
Well, you want to let that dog eat a little bit. It ate. Man, that's a good fastball right here. Right out of the hands. Painted outside corner. Framed very nicely in the strikeout.
Now we get a pinch hitter here. Greg Garcia is going to stand in against John Axford. Left-handed hitter. Saw him in the 9th inning in last night's game. So that is it for Michael Wacha, and he leaves with a 7-0 lead.
4 hits given up. Yeah, threw the ball well again. That's one of the keys to it too. He pounded the strike zone. No walks in the ball game. Or excuse me, 1 walk in the ball game. He walked Carlos Gonzalez back in the 6th inning.
Strike 1 on Garcia. Axford delivers, and that's fouled away. 0-2. A couple of fastballs thrown by Axford. Garcia just called up yesterday. It's his 3rd trip to the big league roster this year. Axford always from the stretch. Big Canadian fires.
You're talking only about 3 hours, 3.5 to get to Memphis from here, so it's pretty easy. Straight down I-55 to get here. They're AA ball clubs 3 hours west of here in Springfield, Missouri. They got a nice little triangle working for their clubs.
Speaking of Springfield, Missouri, little stomping grounds.
That's hometown, man.
That's a
the
little
Hillcrest Hornets.
Is that what it is? Is that your high school?
Absolutely.
And your sister at the
Linda
tonight?
Was here. She graduated from Hillcrest. My sister Judy, a doctor here in St. Louis, is graduated from Central High School. They're all here.
High. And the count 3-2. Ryan Howard, is he not, from Springfield, Missouri?
He's actually from here in St. Louis, but went to school at Missouri State. Right. Played for Coach Gutton.
Correct. Missouri State, by the way, has produced several big leaguers. That's a pretty good program.
Detweiler, the most recent. Left-handed pitcher taken in the 1st round. By the way, out in Albuquerque, they're in the bottom of the 4th inning. And I want to just check the wind real quick. Yeah, not that bad. 7 miles an hour out to right. The only reason I brought that up is the score is tied 7-7 after 4. Salt Lake put 6 on the board in the 3rd. Albuquerque tallied back with 5 in the 4th, and they're still hitting.
In that ball game, Trevor Story hit a grand slam for the Albuquerque team.
David Hale, 2 2/3, 5 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, a couple of walks and 3 strikeouts in the ball game.
Payoff pitch. That one's hit well. Right center, and it's going to be some trouble. It's going to get to the wall. Going to hold at second base with a 7-run lead. That's quite a swing for Greg Garcia as a pinch hitter. He hit that ball a long way. 1 out double and 14 hits for the Cardinals tonight.
And then look at the pitch from John Axford. Fastball away, a little bit elevated above the thigh area. And Garcia, that flat, good swing with some strength. He was hitting over 455 when they called him back up out of his latest stint, a couple of 10 days down in Memphis. And he brought that hot bat with him here.
Speaking of hot bats, here we go with Matt Carpenter. Rockies finally got him out last time up. He bounced out to second base after a homer and a double and an intentional walk. One out, man at second. Carpenter swings at the first pitch this time and fouls it back. Batting average up to 265 with the break 2 games to begin this series for Matt Carpenter. 4 hits last night. John Axford, prior to tonight, previous 5 appearances, 3 2/3 total innings and 8 earned runs. I mentioned the blown saves for John, trying to bounce back tonight. And Carpenter lets that go. It's inside and low, 1-1. Cardinals, such an interesting franchise. In the offseason, they trade away Shelby Miller. Really got criticized for that. They thought, how do you trade a great young arm away like that? You know, they survived that just fine. Adam Wainwright gets hurt early in the season. They lose him. He's their ace, and they don't miss a beat.
Well, they've used a combination of starting pitchers when he did get hurt. Gonzalez, Marco, one of the young kids that was a high draft pick for the St. Louis Cardinals. Grew up in the Colorado area. They used Tyler Lyons as a starter. Cooney as a starter. He made 6 starts so far. Lyons 6 starts. Garcia a couple starts. But where they come back with it is you get a guy like Lackey that's made 21 starts, 16 quality starts. He's 9-6. The team's 12-9. Lynn's, the team is 12-7 when he starts. Martinez 16-3. Walker 14-5. Soon to be 15-5. Just pick up the pieces and come back at you.
Swing and a miss by Carpenter. He doesn't do that very often. Matt Carpenter swings and misses at a pitch there. It's 2-2. A sinking fastball from John Axford. They've had injuries as well with their hitters, and they're not a great hitting team, the Cardinals, but certainly good enough. Matt Adams got hurt early on. He's been out. Now Matt Holliday is hurt, but yet they just keep rolling. 2-2 pitch. And it's hit to Paulson. He'll feed Axford. Nope, going to get the bag himself. 2 outs. It is time for the CenturyLink link to what's coming up next. And we'll look at tomorrow night's starters. Jorge De La Rosa try to get some traction for the Rockies against the aforementioned Lance Lynn. De La Rosa with a tough outing in Chicago. He's rolling along and then lost his command in the 4th inning in that game at Wrigley Field. And Lance Lynn has been solid again this year for the Cardinals. Tomorrow night, it's Game 3. Now Stephen Piscotty, who had a double his last time up, scored a run in that 6th inning when the team scored 5 times. 2 outs and a man at third base. And John Axford would love to get this last out here. A scoreless inning would be just what the doc ordered for him. It's in the dirt, ball 1. Here's a slider. He throws a hard slider 89 miles per hour. The curveball is in the upper 70s. And then a fastball in the mid 90s for John Axford. Justin Miller for the Rockies warming in the bullpen. Miller had a terrific outing in Chicago. 2 scoreless against the Cubs in that win. And it's high with a fastball 94. 2-0. John Axford from the country of Canada ended up playing college baseball at Notre Dame. Junior college stop as well. Had a couple of terrific years with the Milwaukee Brewers as their closer. 2-0 is missing again. 3 balls and no strikes. Axford trying not to lose Piscotty with a walk, and he does that. It's in the dirt, ball 4. And he continues for the Cardinals, 1st and 3rd and 2 down. Now the dangerous Colton Wong, the left-handed hitter, coming up. Wong with a couple of singles in tonight's game. He did the same in last night's game. He also got hit by a pitch, and that was after DJ LeMahieu got hit. A couple innings later, it was Christian Friedrich that hit Wong. I thought the remarks by Wong after the game were interesting. He said, I wasn't surprised at all I got hit. That's part of the game. He just jogged down to first base. He knew why he got hit. He had no trouble with it.
Right. I think the only problem he did have with it is that the antics by Martinez were not necessary, which created the retaliation. And, you know, that's where you got to handle it with your own teammate.
Wasn't happy he got hit. He knew why he got hit.
Yep.
And a swinging foul tipped that one into the glove of Hundley for strike 1. Then Paulson at first base going to play behind the runner, Piscotty. The left-handed hitter up there, and the Rockies down 7-0. Pitch by Axford. Fouled back. Boy, Wong was on that pitch. Fastball that was up at 94. Now Axford working ahead of this hitter 0-2 after walking Piscotty. Started the inning with the strikeout of Grichuk, and then the pinch hit double by Garcia. Finally got Carpenter out on a ground ball. Axford's got his share of strikeouts this year and in his career, looking for one perhaps here. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. There it is. Strike 3. Went upstairs with a fastball and got Colton Wong to swing at a pitch out of the strike zone. Good work by John Axford tonight. We'll come back in a moment. Brian, thank you very much. Daniel Descalso, the former Cardinal, is the hitter. And we got some changes defensively. First, Greg Garcia stays in the ball game. He is playing shortstop now. And as well, there's a new catcher behind the plate. That is Tony Cruz. So Yadier Molina is done. So is Johnny Peralta tonight. Here's a new pitcher, veteran lefty Randy Choate.
Yeah, one of those guys they really like here. He pitched in 51 games now for this Cardinal ball club. And very effective with that. A .412 earned run average, but only 19 2/3 a situational left-hander. 14 strikeouts. He doesn't walk people, just 2.
Tough guy on lefties with that sidearm fling that he has. And Descalso pulls it foul. Didn't get the standing ovation tonight, Daniel Descalso. He got one last night when he came to the plate.
Well, he had a few. There was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
No, he had a couple of people up on their feet here. Very appreciative of what he's done. Here in the Cardinal uniform through all the playoffs, the World Series. He was a member and a part of all of that.
Got a clapping ovation on a standing one tonight. Outside with a breaking ball. 1-2 on Descalso. Daniel, what's the Cardinal way? He said the Cardinal way is just to play the game the right way. There's no manual. They just kind of teach you as you go. And respect the game. That's going to loop into left center field. That's going to be a base hit off the end of his bat, but he got the job done nonetheless. Just the 5th hit for the Rockies tonight. Oh, who wants tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs, like they did last night. Charlie Blackmon will come up now against Randy Choate, so a pair of left-handers, and then you got a switch hitter Reyes on deck. Charlie 0 for 3 tonight. And that's in there for a strike, caught the outside corner. Blackmon is 5 for 20 now on this road trip. He went 0 for 3 against Wacha. He had been 4 for 7 in his career against Michael Wacha before tonight. Wacha was tough on everybody this evening.
Yeah, very good changeup that he had working tonight. Didn't show a lot with the breaking ball. Didn't need to. Command with the fastball, both sides of the plate.
Choate fires and caught the inside corner to Blackmon. Surely didn't think that was a strike.
Now 0 for 3 in his career versus Choate. He's a difficult guy to throw to. And you can see on the forward strike zone it was not a strike. Charlie had a reason to look back. It was a breaking ball that came around the plate.
Charlie was saying, did I swing at that or did you call that? It was called. It's low. 2-2 to Charlie Blackmon. Randy Choate on for Michael Wacha. Wacha on his way to win number 12 on the season. He will lower his earned run average as well.
Well, that's an odd angle coming out of the bullpen. Seacrest is typically the guy that's coming out to pitch the 8th inning with a 2 runs or less lead, throwing 95, 96 miles an hour. Then you have this guy coming in, firing from the right side. Well, they picked up a player today too, a big right-hander, Jonathan Broxton, is here and in Cardinal uniform.
Looking on. Missed outside to Blackmon. 4 count to Charlie. There was a lot of talk about the Cardinals making a move for offense, and they didn't do that. That surprised you at all, George? They didn't get
well, they got Moss, but they didn't go out and get some big name.
Right.
I mean, there was some talk about maybe Cespedes coming here, and they give up some of the younger arms at the minor leagues for him. A big right-handed bat. They didn't know how long Holiday was going to be down.
That's a bouncing ball. Second for 1 on the first. And time to get Blackmon.
Garcia, and I read the quotes in the paper yesterday from Matheny. He said I wouldn't hesitate to play Garcia at shortstop.
Yep.
But it's not a position of his all the time. So he kind of got an awakening right there on a pretty tough double play ball.
I think what happened too with the Cardinals and Matt Holliday getting hurt again, there was a lot of media speculation. And there's Jonathan Broxton picked up by the Cardinals. He's a long-time reliever. former closer. There's a couple of closers now in that bullpen for Milwaukee. But Holiday goes out, and everybody's thinking, oh, they got to make a move for a bat because they lose Holiday. And the Cardinals thinking, we kind of like our roster the way it is. We'll pick up Brandon Moss. It'll help us, a left-handed bat, and we'll just keep cruising with our pitching. Ground ball to the right side. Wong's got this one. Tough throw. Got it in time to get Reyes. Blackman to second base. Colton Wong has great range going to his left, especially made some good plays in this series.
Yeah, there's a couple of hops over here. Wong's going to be able to get to it. Always has shown the flash of the glove and the ability to cover both left and right sides of the infield. He does just that.
Shortstop in college, played some second base, but mainly short. Second baseman these days for the Cardinals. Now Cargo getting his fourth at bat tonight. He doubled and walked. He is 1 for 2 tonight.
Yeah, and Wong was playing on the same ball club. They had Scruggs, they had Grenchick, they had a very good team that year. Rosenthal was on it. Seacrest was on it. But one of the players that was on it that was tragically killed in a car accident is Oscar Taveras.
Yes.
And Oscar put on a show that year in center field. And then he had the ankle injury and difficult coming back from that, but it just made it to the big leagues. It's a sad story. He was killed in a car wreck in his native country, the Dominican Republic.
Cargo hits the ball the other way, but there is Matt Carpenter. And there's out number 3 for the Rockies in the 8th inning. Still 7-0 St. Louis with the lead in game 2. We'll come back after this. To you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. And by Office Liquidators, offering Colorado's largest selection and lowest prices for new, used, and refurbished office furniture. Back at St. Louis, Busch Stadium, beautiful facility here in downtown St. Louis, and the home team is doing it again. 7-0. The Rockies are trailing. A couple of changes for the Rockies. Drew Stubbs has come in the ball game. He's in right field. Cargo is done for the night. And as well, a new pitcher. Here is the right-hander, Justin Miller.
And our right-hander's coming in to make another appearance for this Rocky ball club. Miller on the year is 1-0 with a 1.00 earned run average over 9 ball games, 9 innings, 9 strikeouts, just a walk. He's been very good. Right-handers have hit just 100 off of him, and left-handers, he's been respectable, 273 against.
Big, strong guy, Justin Miller. Tony Cruz came in defensively at catcher. Is getting his first at bat tonight.
What'd you do for your whole career? I backed up Yadier Molina. I played 5 games a year, got 10 years in the big leagues.
Not a bad deal, huh?
No,
played with some great teams in
got
St.
4
Louis.
rings.
Yeah.
It was really a nice day.
Yep.
Doug, that was a bad toss. Put you on TV, you're perfect, and then you do this.
I asked one of the Cardinals broadcasters about Tony Cruz, and he said, well, we don't know. We never see him play.
Well, Gold Gloves by catcher, and as expected, Ivan Rodriguez 13, Johnny Bench 10, and then Molina was 7, Bob Boone 7, Sandberg was 6. So you're talking about guys that are in the Hall of Fame, going to the Hall of Fame, or played for a really long time at the big league level. Strikeout, blew that ball right by Cruz for the first out here in the 8th inning.
And Justin Miller with 2 scoreless against the Cubs comes on here, gets that first out, and now he'll get Jason Hayward, I believe. Hayward started out of the dugout.
Yeah, where'd he go?
Went back in.
Maybe he didn't get a bat, or maybe they're trying to pinch hit for him and they don't have anybody to go hit for him.
That might well be.
I changed my mind. Burgess is going to get the hit for him.
Yep. Yeah, Hayward was out there. He was walking up toward the plate, and then his manager called him back. Peter Borges will be the hitter. Right-handed extra outfielder for this Cardinals team. There are a number of guys that are similar in their abilities. Speedy outfielders that these Cardinals have, all young guys.
Yes, they do.
Borges one of them. So good night for
Yeah, he's
Jason Hayward.
one of the fastest men in baseball, to be honest with you. He can really cover a lot of ground. The bat just has never played up for him. At 226 on the year here. Late on that fastball.
Native of Scottsdale, Arizona. Spring training home of the Rockies.
Yeah, Pete Cosma from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Work out with him during the winter months.
He's got to be good if he's from Tulsa.
Well, he can really catch it. But everybody's going to get to play except for Reynolds. So Reynolds' mom's the only one that's going to be upset tonight.
And Miller throws a fastball that's fouled back to the screen. It's 0-2 on Borges. Miller in 6 straight scoreless appearances now for the Rockies. And talking to Walt Weiss about this guy the other day in Chicago, he said, you know, he's got a chance to be it back into the bullpen guy. Throws hard, throws strikes, a lot of saves in the minors. Great makeup for a relief pitcher, they say. Swinging and a miss on a hard slider. He's come in and struck out the first 2.
Regardless of the score, I think when you come out and you're trying to impress your staff that you want to be one of those guys, you need to throw pitches like this. He threw a nasty slider. Peter not able to hold the trigger, and he ends up empty-handed, goes back to the dugout. Pete Cosmo will get an opportunity. Pete hasn't hit much at the big league level. He always seems to hit well into September. Last year was not on the roster, added back on the roster after he came up with some huge hits for this ball club, but he can really pick it. Plays second, short, and third. A very good defender. A lifetime 250 hitter at the minor league level.
Over his last 8, 1 for 10 as a pinch hitter. Right at the knee, strike 1. Justin Miller, 93-mile-an-hour pitch. May not have the velocity, Justin Miller, to be that swing and a miss guy at the end of a game, but the Rockies think that he's got a chance to be a solid contributor at this level.
You know, if he pounds strike, stays in the lower half of the zone.
Yeah.
I mean, Houston Street for the last 3 or 4 years has averaged 88, 89 with his fastball. That's at 93. You got him set up in a good slider mode here if you want to go ahead and make the pitch and get it over with and get in the dugout.
He's trying to strike out the side.
Would tie a major league record.
Yeah. We saw Christian Friedrich tie a major league record the other day. 3 pitches to get 3 outs.
9 pitches, 3 strikeouts. Try that one sometime.
And a fly ball to right. This is Stubbs on the run, makes a catch. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Miller. Nice work for Justin Miller after John Axford. We'll head to the 9th with the Rockies needing 7 runs to tie. Peter Borges stays in the ball game. There he is in center. Pete Kozma stays in the game after pinch hitting. He's at short. Garcia was at short. He moves to second base. New pitcher, right-hander Seth Maness is on the hill.
Yeah, he worked one inning last night, a couple of hits, a walk, a strikeout. He did give up a run in the ball game. As they turn this into a spring training game. As I said a minute ago, the only mom not mad is Mark Reynolds' mom. So he got the day off with the left-hander. He's probably going to get the start tomorrow at first base. Want to make sure he's well rested. Maness making his 52nd appearance, more of a situational right-hander. Get me out of that inning, maybe one more, but you can see only just 40 in the third innings pitched. He doesn't walk people, he puts the ball on the ground. Yet overall, they've hit nearly 305 average against. He just doesn't give up a whole lot of home runs. He is second in the game behind his teammate Seacrest for games appeared, 52 now.
Nolan Arenado first, strike one called to Nolan, looking for his first hit tonight. Nolan with a first inning double in last night's game. He has gone 0 for 8 since that time. 0 for 7, I'm sorry. Maness, one of the rare relievers it seems these days, it works from a windup. There's a ground ball hit to short. Kozma's there now and he boots it.
Yeah, you don't see that very often out of Pete Kozma. Normally a sure-handed defender. That's not going to make him feel very comfortable. A guy that works at that, prides himself on his game. Pete this year has only had 3 errors on the year. This was an easy one that just shot off of the leg. Almost looked like a bad hop right at the very end.
I think they took a real tricky hop at the end for him.
He was staying down on it, and then that one jumped straight in the air on him.
Man at first for the Rockies. And Drew Stubbs will hit for the first time. And he laid off that pitch, ball one. Drew has swung the bat very well since he came back for the minors. Overall, just 207, but he was way down before he got sent down. Over 300 in the month of July for Drew Stubbs. Strike one. Rockies out hit tonight 14-5. 7-0 they trail. And really it could have been worse for the Rockies. The Cardinals have left 11 on base tonight. Michael Wacha 7 scoreless against the Rockies, 7 strikeouts. One's hit down the right field line. That's going to be a foul ball. Now the Rockies will regroup and try to get after things tomorrow. Still will have, after tonight, a chance to split this 4-game series. De La Rosa and Lance Lynn tomorrow, and then Johan Flande and Jaime Garcia on Sunday afternoon in Game 4. Then the Rockies go back home and play 3 against the Mariners. They're right back on the road. Swing and a miss by Drew Stubbs. It's time for our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. This one tonight will go to the starting pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. It is Michael Wacha. He was in command early in this ball game. 7 shutout innings after getting roughed up a bit in Denver and getting beat. One of just his 4 losses this year, but tonight 7 strikeouts, 1 walk in 7 shutout innings. That was our Jimmy John's delivery of the game, Michael Wacha. Little looper in the right center field by Ben Paulson's going to drop for a base hit. That'll get Arenado over to third base. And the Rockies with their 6th hit of the night. Ben Paulson, after going 0 for 3, striking out 3 times, able to get a base hit. We get Nick Hundley up to the plate. 1 down here in the top of the 9th for the Rockies. Trying to avoid the shutout, and Hundley can prevent that from happening with a base hit. Sacrifice fly could do the trick as well. Nick is 0 for 3. And that's strike 1. Hundley was going to take that pitch from Seth Maness. Cardinals trying to get their 10th shutout of the year. That's the 4th highest total in the National League. The Dodgers have 15 shutouts from their pitchers. Foul down the right field side, out of play. 0-2 to Hundley. If you followed the craziness of the activity before the trade deadline, you heard about Wilmer Flores for the Mets, thinking he was traded. He wasn't. Tears in his eyes at one point. He's hit a walk-off home run tonight for the Mets. Crazy game of baseball. Go around. He did. Strike 3.
Nick's like, okay, this is where I really kind of bite my lip and walk back to the dugout. First base umpire felt like that he went around in this ball game. Mike Estabrook.
So 2 down in the ninth inning for Brandon Barnes. Barnes has one of the Rockies hits tonight. One of the 6. He singled in the 5th inning. Most of the crowd has left Busch Stadium, but the ones still here, I'm sure, open and clapping for the shutout tonight for their team. Strike 1 to Barnes. Walk has started. Randy Choate came on. Now Seth Maness for the Cardinals. 1st and 3rd, 2 outs. That's out of play. Last night the Rockies facing Carlos Martinez, one of the hottest pitchers in baseball, and they roughed him up. Different story tonight for Michael Wacha. 1-2 to Barnes. Arenado at 3rd. Olsen at first base.
Yeah, not that very many sliders. Typically it's the hard sinker. He may go to a cutter here. You see him move away from it. He went with the fastball in. He jammed him. He popped it up.
And that's the ball game. 10th shutout this year for the St. Louis Cardinals. They take care of business behind Michael Wacha. Our final is 7-0, and the Cardinals take a 2-0 lead in the series over the Rockies. The Rockies have now lost 25 of the last 35 games to St. Louis overall. Final score here, 7-0. Let's go back to our studio in Denver. Standing by, Ryan and Jenny.